Can I get a hey? Let me turn this down a bit more. Hi. Um, how is the whole two people watching doing? Me? I'm great. Um, had a pretty great weekend. Ate some good food just now. Maybe a bit too much food, but I ate it. So, if you hear me desperately dry heaving, that is because I am dying and I need to use the bathroom. Ah, I'm gonna wait for more people to show up. I'm gonna put a blue guy in the chat. I haven't played the game this song is from. I just like it. So, yeah. Oh well. Do 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 do. Hold on. I'll get started soon. I'm really enjoying this music, so I'm looking for an excuse to keep it lasting. Hi, Silent. How are you? Good morning, also. I'm pretty great. Uh, well, I can prove it. Not with like, I can prove it with words if that means anything. I went to that convention over the weekend. It was pretty great. Saw a lot of friends. Spent too much money. Got some gifts for people. And then I just ate a burrito from Chipotle. Once again, maybe a bit too much. So, yeah. Let's enough of that. Time to get serious. I'm gonna open the game. Now, again, I don't know much about this besides that apparently it's pretty good, and someone described it to me as toxic Yuri. Oh, hey, Vedant Blue. Someone described this to me as toxic Yuri Ace Attorney, and you had me at the first word. So, yeah. What even is this game? It's a visual novel that's like Ace Attorney, and that's all I know. And apparently it's pretty good for making funny voices with your friends. So yeah. Let me get in there. Close that. Let's hope this loads correctly. Because boy, do I hope it does. I kept the Lloyd corner, I'm noticing. I forgot to get rid of that. Oh no, you can't see it once again. Can I do nothing right? Shit, I gotta figure this out. No, don't load, don't load, don't load. Stop, 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 stop. This is why I don't like streaming on things that aren't good. I also gotta turn it down a bit. Damn! Enjoy the background music while I figure this out. How's that? Perfect. Should I keep the Lloyd corner, do you think? Do you like it? Okay, I'll keep it. Settings. Full screen. 74 hertz. Let's do 60. I'm assuming this game doesn't have, like, graphics. So, yeah. DualShock. I don't know what any of these mean so far. So, yeah. Oh, I can go to the social media. Hold on. Oh, this is open a window. Whoa! Sorry, I just started scrolling. I forgot that I'm doing something right now. Oopsie. So yeah, that you play episode 0 is free, so that's cool. I don't know how long it is, but we'll see. Rain sizzles off neon above me. Summer shower creates a noted uptick in the flickering of holograms down the street. And a slight blunting of night's ambience. Emphasis on slight. Can I turn it down a bit? I'm just going to turn it down. Yeah, there it is. Master volume. Thank you. Lights, cameras, and constant noise. They say he's got insomnia. With the uneven heart rate to prove it. There's no escaping the secondhand nervous energy of it all. But I'm pretty acclimated. Just a wave of worry cresting on the surface while I hold my breath deep below. Besides, a microdose of nightlife anxiety suits my mood just fine. Because if I'm not careful, this client of mine's going to die in jail. That's Morgan. Criminal attorney. It's hard to get away with murder these days. People are still presumed innocent, or at least on paper. By the time they're uncut, there's hardly any shadows of doubt left. That's another video game. Because this whole world's lit up, mapped over, never unknown and always online. Where it's incandescent, or neon, or hollow. Where it's LCD or LED. Just the nearest phone screen. It's like shining in every last pixel of the map. Someone's always watching. Solitude's a rarity. And anonymity is scarce. Criminal defense attorneys aren't exactly flush with customers. So you take whatever clients you can get. You don't balk at public defender work, no matter the hour. You should find yourself in order. You should find yourself in one of the last dark and quiet corners left in the whole world. Well, smoke 'em if you got 'em. Not that there's much else I can do until... My phone? Counselor, your public defender contract has been approved. I love game with texting. You're expected to be at the 254th precinct present your ID at the door. Okay. Arriving at least 15 minutes. At least 15 minutes early. I'll try! Looks like paperwork came through. It's nearly 3:15 now. 99 minutes since I took the job. Probably makes about 2 hours since I finally got smart enough to ask for a lawyer. Which character are you? I'm me. Hope this helps. If they're really smart, though, I'd use that time to get some rest. Because now that I'm here, things are going to get busy. Of the Devil, Episode 0. And he shall appear. Disable tutorials? I'll keep them on. I'm bisexual? Great, man. Me too. I'm happy to hear it. It's not episode, this is video game. What other video game have I just played that calls them episodes? Unbeatable. Never mind. I don't know why I can remember that. Precinct 254. It's a goddamn ghost town. With nothing but a hologram for a welcoming party. I'm here about a homicide. High clearance rates, I'll be damned. You think they treat a little more gravitas. But whatever. If I'm that unimportant, they've got no right to complain if I take my sweet time getting checked in. I should take my time. Information's like cash in my line of work. You gotta spend it to make it. If you're flat broke, no one give a shit what you have to say. So let's see if I can't poke around and shake some change loose. Press the phone button or tap the phone icon in the top left to access the pause menu. Okay. You can toggle auto-advancing text with the auto button. No thanks. Looking around for points of interest. Okay. Yep. Oh, there's literally a credit system for looking at stuff. Okay. Actual police lineup. It's like I walked into a museum. The museums tend to feel expensive and clean. Yeah, I'm sorry if you're not okay with swearing. This is an adult video game. Dusty, forgotten, probably lots of unpacked boxes. Homicide department. Oh, I got an achievement. Homicide department's more like an attic. Hard to believe they were ever so busy that they had to witness making IDs in the lobby. And it's hard to believe they were ever doing lineups in the first place. Are you certain? Wasn't it dark? Did you know that during traumatic events where memories forgotten blah blah blah, poking holes in that setup must have been like shooting fish in a barrel. And during billable hours. Can you censor the swearing? My mom doesn't let me watch during... Yeah, I'll try. I'll see what I can do. Just look at the Lloyd corner when it gets too intense. There's going to be murder, too. There's no room to sow doubt anymore. Not when a modded witness can submit their testimony as a video recording. Assuming their phone didn't automatically file a police report for them. Damn, that's kind of dystopic. Chair. High traffic hallways, utilitarian furnishing, multiple screening stations. Pragmatic boozelism, so textbook it could teach freshman level architecture. You can almost hear the building drone on and about, concrete and iron and hard to get right angles. Civil planning equivalents of battle scars. From a fight so won long ago, they're starting to look ridiculous. So it was all very imposing back when it was built. Walking in here now, with crime width where they are, feels like hospice ward for heavy-handedness. Sorry. Reading is hard. What this is. A data pad. I'll bite. Even when they're more advertisement than article, they can still be informative. In a flowery, roundabout, corporate propaganda sort of way. Heads up. Keep an eye out for articles in the environment. They offer insight on the world around you and credit towards your investigation. Articles are added to your phone's reading list after you first read them. This is really cool so far. Just a proper takeaway after reading them, and you'll earn additional bonus credit too. Subway fixes axe city to refocus on canopy. Declaring the subway tunnels to be irreparably flooded, city engineers announced this week that all plans to drain and repair the systems were being suspended indefinitely. Saltwater damage to sensitive electronics cabling and erosion of key tunnel fixtures were cited as reasons for why 89% of the subway system was valued as critically compromised or worse. Neat. Civil engineering efforts will be refocused on maintenance and expansions of the hybrid super infrastructure system that weaves together trams, highways, walkways, skyscrapers into the canopy, high above our city streets. Reactions to announcement could be categorized as blasé. It's been years since the subways last ran, and decades since they last ran on schedule. Most citizens have long since given up on hope of them ever making a comeback. Online chat barely reacted to the announcement, with most commenters and voters' attentions focused instead on the growing investigations into Councilman Long's campaign finance irregularities. As one of the Canopy's major backers in City Hall, Long has often found himself... Sorry, Long is a person. Okay, yeah, sorry. Long has often found himself at odds with a small but vocal group of critics that consider it to be an eyesore, an amplifier of light and noise pollution. And with Long having stepped away into his political duties in order to more fully cooperate with investigators for the first time in nearly 20 years, the typically rock-steady political foundation of the Canopy was looking uncharacteristically shaky going into this week. Well, with the subways now officially no longer an option, people and corporations alike have little choice but how they complete their morning commute. This is really, really cool so far. However, not all reactions to the news have been negative. At least a few bold individuals see this latest report as vindication, and possibly even a rallying cry. Already considered by many to be a rising star in infrastructure solutions abroad, tech startup Subterra made headlines. Sorry, I zoned out for a second. Subterra made headlines last year with their radical proposal for a system of personal submarine taxi pods that could make use of the flooded... How fucking flooded is it if you need submarine taxi pods? Uses of flooded subway tunnels, but momentum stalled when their first prototype for the city came in at a disappointing 3,359% over budget. Jesus. The one council member was quoted as calling the system mind-bogglingly wasteful and impractical to the extreme. In light of this latest announcement, Subterra has proudly declared their intent to resubmit their proposal package. That's good. Across the entire globe, coastal cities like ours have struggled to find civil engineering answers as rising sea level, okay, I get it, and subterranean flooding that satisfy financial practices and aesthetical concerns. Historically, most scientists have attributed the increase of sea level to climate change, though there are more dissenting voices. Water rises and falls all the time for reasons we do not fully understand. Are we too? It appears that you have 0 free articles remaining this month. Please verify your account information in order to continue reading the stories that matter. Thanks, man. Ballsy of them putting a paywall there, as if I reach by my wallet having to read a word like aesthetical. So I think I got the gist of it. The takeaway is that the sale will be focused efforts on the Canopy. I mean, increased scrutiny surrounding the Canopy, and that there's no plan B. It's a massive project with massive budget, lines the pockets of people, big and small. None of them will appreciate bad press moment. Now, one Councilman Long's already thoroughly chummed the waters. That was a lot of reading, but I really enjoyed it. This is really, really cool. Can I look at profiles? I have a whole 0 of them. Unless it's loading. Nope, I just have none. Articles. That's what I just read. No evidence. Customized phone? I don't know how to read, so I appreciate this. All good, man. I got you. I can get charms from my phone. And I gotta be honest, I don't really know how to read either, so I'm trying my best. So enjoy it. Hi. Medium's cracked in the corner. Looks bad, but my phone's made of the same stuff. And I'm rolling the dice every time it falls off the sofa. You probably know the warranty on these things with a loud sneeze. At least it's not broken entirely. Even at this hour, it's still dutifully scrolling through the notifications. Looks like the usual 1-to-1 ratio of public health alerts and inoffensive pop culture trivia you always get served at state buildings. There's a few missing persons, too. 1 year of silver playing coverage, courtesy of Caduceus as a reward for any. Silver's no joke. Tim must be getting desperate. Alright. Taking all the scenery and learn as much as I can here. Time to get checked in. That's desk. Boot up fine. So far, so good. Good morning. Morgan here for a public defender contract. Could you please provide your name and... Great! Please stand still for a moment. I wouldn't call it intake hall as charming. More like harmless. That's probably what the designers were aiming for. People mind a quirk or two in their tech, so long as it never speaks out of turn. I'm sorry, but I'm having trouble placing you. Could you please provide your name and date of birth? So far, so good, was it? Scan my card. Say, why don't you just scan my ID card? Great. Now, could you just confirm your date of birth for me? Why do they even bother asking? Birthday's on the damned ID card and my profile. I have to be world-class airhead to get this question wrong. No problem, my birthday's See, this is where I come in. The player. That's really cool. I like that. Date of birth, December 26th. Height, 175 centimeters. Weight, who knows? Blood type, AB minus. AB negative, I'm sorry. Occupation, criminal defense attorney. Likes puzzles, smoking, and wooden furniture. Dislikes, commercials, hairdressers, and jogging. Talent, can fall asleep in any position. Coffee, decaf. Her favorite drink is whiskey sour. Okay. December 26th. Perfect. Good morning, Morgan Counselor. Thank you for your timely arrival and taking on the public defender contract. If you're ready to speak to your client, you can proceed to counseling quarter 3C. Is that what we're calling it now? You mean the interrogation room? I'm sorry to have caused any confusion. My vocabulary is regularly updated to better reflect the state standards. Don't sweat it. I can't keep track of every new euphemism either. You call it involuntary wellness check room if they like. Doesn't change the way it makes a person feel, sitting in a stifled box of one-way panels. They see about their own reflection, dully wrapped across gunmetal walls. Morgan Counselor, can I help with anything else? Choices that progress the story forward will cause other options to shrink away when selected. It's a cool way, telling me. Choices that will take conversation down side paths before returning to this point will not. Because of the article you read earlier, you've unlocked additional choices in the dialogue. Jay, are you still watching? Because we should take some ideas from this. Read and examine at every opportunity to build up your knowledge and get the most of every conversation. This is really, really cool. What are you? What are you? I'm a smart user interface, proudly sold by Noble Electronics. Thanks for asking. If you're interested, I can send you a link to information about our subscription packages. Should I send you a link with information about our subscription packages? No. Sorry. That was a mean question to ask. Why the disrepair? I know he's not terribly concerned with the lower wards, but this is a police station. Why is it so goddamn dusty? Sorry, I sweared. This facility is currently undergoing renovations. Since when? The 60s? It has been 22 months since the timetable was last updated. They really don't see a lot of action around here, do they? I'm sorry for any inconvenience you might have encountered. I'm adaptable. What about you? They ever gonna fix that crack? Thank you for asking. It's not interfered with my work. Well, that's all that matters, right? That'll be all. Thank you. Find the counseling quarters past our homicide detective office right to the door on your right. Thanks. I think it's just me for now. So you could go on break if you like. Automated dependents do not take breaks, Morgan Counselor. Then what were you doing before I walked in? You'll find the counseling quarters past our homicide detective office through the door to the right. Thank you. Ads don't get breaks. They don't even get my jokes. It's usually the humorless types that are most fun to mess with anyway. Neat. Has it gone bad or something? A voice. No voice is coming from them at all. Impaired to yours? Probably. I gotta stop for directions. Being this empty at the desk code just told me to follow the echoes. Tone voice sounds older, rougher, and decidedly low energy. Appreciate you trying about. I'm sorry, I don't know what they look like, so I can't get them voices yet. While the other rings with youthful indignation. Not like a job's important or anything. Definitely cops. At least precinct at this hour? They might be the only two living, breathing people in the whole complex. Because why else would you bother to print all that out? One document or 100 looks the same data pad. Anytime you question a suspect, you need a heavy file on hand. Makes them think you know them better than the priest, their mother, their break brother? I wasn't going to say that. So many of those sheets were blank then. No red carpet tonight, officers? Oh, sorry about that, ma'am. We keep many extra hands around these hours. Probably faster to let the desk handle intake anyway. But mostly cheaper. You the lawyer? I am! Morgan, Esquire. Pleased to meet you. Same here, counselor. Qasim London. Cool-ass name. And the ball of sunshine here is my partner, Farah Reyes. Ball of sunshine? She certainly is. Huh? Sorry if you were kept waiting. Chatter between the departments have been hectic all night. It's no trouble. Gave me time to enjoy my cigarette. Cigarette? Like tobacco? What are you, 80? She can't be more than a few years younger than me. Ahem. We're detectives in charge of this particular case. It looks like tonight we're going to be your humble guides to the illustrious homicide department. Apologies in advance for any cobwebs. Pretty sure I haven't seen this London character around the courthouses before. Never struck me as more than just some old-timer. I suppose being an old-timer is an accomplishment in itself in his profession. Sunshine is definitely a new face, though. Originating her posture and her attitude. 3 in the morning and her shirt still looks ironed. Freshly promoted, maybe? 2 whole detectives working at these hours? Sounds serious. Unless you were just the first arrived to the scene. No. We're not nearly that timey. Uniforms respond to emergency calls with a few minutes. Calls, plural. Must have been quite the commotion. Look around. You think we're the first to arrive for anything? She's not wrong. We're only trapped after circumstances at the scene indicated involvement with ongoing investigation. Or our ongoing investigation. Not very subtle, is she? But I was a bite at this point. You suspect the client of mine is involved with some separate criminal activity? Wait, did they really not? No, I guess they wouldn't put it in a public defender's briefing. Well, consider that a little professional courtesy. A fair warning, yeah? That's the heartbreak killer in that room. I like how it changes color like JoJo's. You ever seen JoJo's? And we've got the bastard dead to rights. So if you're kind, you'll help him plead it out. And if you're smart, you'll pass the shitstorm, onto some other night owl and go back to bed. I'm not feeling particularly kind or smart in the moment. Sarah's in the meantime, you suppose, so polite as to film you about this heartbreak killer? They cover utilities at the rock you live under? Is there a problem? You're seriously not familiar with 8K? Never heard of him. I've heard enough of him for a lifetime. That name has been plastered all over the city for weeks. Crimes wavering between breaking news and urban legend. Her presumed goals flip-flopping from unadulterated anarchy to unappreciated vigilantism. At street corners in the media and the net, everyone's indulging in the exact same armchair detective speculation that I can't stand. But right now I need to figure out exactly how much the police do or don't know. When it comes to cops, I always get better results playing the dumb than I do acting smart. I really like how her out-facing personality is way different than the inner. That's really cool. I'll take it he's a repeat offender? Was it the killer part that tipped you off? You must have at least heard about his MO. Media's got crazy with it. Along with everyone else. 1 bullet straight through the heart. Body left to lie where it falls. Hence the name Heartbreak. Not exactly creative, but amidst a swirl of every other 100-word article out there, catchiness trumps originality. What you won't read online is that all 6 of HK's victims were shot by the same gun, without even needing to reload. That's pretty cool. Horrible to say, I know, but 6 for 6? That's pretty good shooting, isn't it? Hitting the bullseye in shooting range is good shooting. Doing it 6 times in a row is great. But shooting 6 people with accuracy like that? It's a whole different beast. Takes a certain kind of monster, a real freak. His pulse probably didn't even rise. I see. I want to say it sounds robotic. Because it does. But they're probably... Yeah, okay. You almost make him sound like a machine. Is it possible that... No, it is not. There's no such thing as killer robots, madam. Of course, my mistake. So those androids marking in the military, those robots patrolling police uniforms, those drones dropping firebombs from the sky. I guess they're all firing blanks. Fair enough. Machines can kill. And they've been around for decades. But they don't commit murder. Right. Evil like heartbreak is all organic. It's a pretty terrifying thought. I should really start paying more attention to the news. I managed to miss 6 murders. Well, you can only blame yourself for missing 5. Pardon? You're still not getting it? HK's 6th system was around a few hours ago. We caught the son of a bitch red-handed. So you're convinced that my client is his heartbreak killer and tonight was his latest crime? That's a serious accusation with very serious consequences. Take you have serious evidence to back it up? I was being literal, counselor. Red-handed. When we found your client, he was covered in her blood. Well, that's not good, is it? What you say certainly sounds compelling. That lawyer talk for open and shut. But even if that's the case, how does one crime scene make him look good for 6 murders? It's all in the discovery files. And the ARCs, of course. Join the local net. Can I check what words they're talking about? Terms. Oh, I can! ARCs. Augmented Reality Crime Scene, abbreviated as ARCs, is an investigation tool which data is harvested by the sensors worn for first responders is used to reconstruct a digital copy of pristine crime scene. Program distributed by a small number of tech corporations and frequently modified or even interpersonalized by local municipals. Sorry, I did something in my throat. ARC systems are used by every major police force, most insurance investigators, and many law firms. After the introduction in the early 2060s, the technology briefly came under public scrutiny when the independent news organization United Mediacasters released a series of reports claiming that ARC's data was regularly edited by corrupt officials to erase state secrets. ARC system works, yeah. These reports were later found to be fake, and the UMC was exposed as a subsidiary of Cell Corporation within Lambda Work Solutions, who were marketing a number of alternatives to ARC's technology at the time. Board members at Lambda denounced the actions of said cell and offered assistance to their former competitors in suing leadership at UMC. But in the proceedings and settlements, those lawsuits remained sealed. This is really cool. I want to read all of this. Automated Dependent. Abbreviated as AD and referred to in common conversation as ads or ads, pronounced ads. Automated Dependent is a catch-all term encompassing robots, intelligent programs, interactive holograms, and androids. Ads are present in both digitally and physically in every industry nation on the planet, assisting in everything from data management to physical labor. In the mid-21st century, lobbyists pushed the new tax classification to find intelligent machines that were neither salaried, employed, nor mere equipment. Because it afford tax breaks and lighter tariffs, the term became so commonly used that it spread to all branches of the robotics industry, from which point it began to penetrate into everyday speech and pop culture. Some sociologists argue that the term owes its popularity not to simply its brevity and prevalence, but to the ability to draw a distinction between commonplace robots, androids, smart UIs, etc., and the internationally illegal artificial intelligence asterisk. Searching for this term may incur an account flag. Read more about how to cooperate with authorities to combat that's... I like that. They were hinting at stuff with the... Oh my god, that game is so cool so far. Jay, are you still watching? I hope both of you enjoyed this, because I'm really, really liking it. Holograms. Enabled by specialized projectors, mediums, or conductive resins. Holograms are graphic displays that appear three-dimensional to the human eye when viewed from any part of the face range of at least 180 degrees, effect known as the Watterson illusion phenomenon. Originally patented in late 2059, Watterson phenomenon was initially used exclusively in the adult entertainment industry. Makes sense that porn invented it first. You'd be surprised about how many things were. Holograms did not become widely adopted in the advertising tool until the much maligned Holiday season, that's clever, of 2061, after which laws restricting the presence of holograms in public spaces were passed with uncharacteristically universal support. We're sorry to see that you've installed a subroutine on this device to disable the highlight recommend premium external links. We understand your drive for personalization, but unauthorized tech impacts our ability to best serve you with most relevant information possible. Consider disabling... She has a fucking ad blocker on. Consider disabling your subroutine so we can serve you a more tailored browsing experience. Fuck you. Data pads. The lightweight portable electronic known as data pads have no significant internal storage capabilities and can only display what is streamed to them from local networks. Originally marketed as a replacement for ecologically wasteful newspapers, magazines, and flyers, data pads quickly became infamous for the difficulty and expense involved and recycling them once their limited lifetime components expired. That's funny. It wasn't until they were rebranded as ideal for privacy and security that datapads found success in the private and public sectors, where the ability to display location-locked content helped corporations minimize data leaks and give their advertisements targeted geographic relevance. Today, datapads are a mainstay of high-traffic public spaces and virtual physical hybrid workplaces, despite remaining unpopular with most environmentalists and bibliophiles. Last one, conductive resin. Though it outwardly resembles plastic or glass, conductive resin is actually an electromagnetic polymer used in a wide variety of stationary portable devices where its unique properties allow it to act both display and a processor, enabling ultra-thin or even transparent electronics. There are upwards of 100 different patented varieties of conductive resin, each intended for different cases, industries, and environments. But they're all fairly lightweight and fragile, except for the small handful formulated for military and security applications. Because of its widespread use in high turnover products such as datapads and smartphones, producers of conductive resins are frequently accused of engineering obsolescence. Is that the word? Obsolescence by consumer rights groups. These guns have never been proven in court. Screen cracked? Schedule fix here. I wish I could. Can I click it? No. I went to my fucking mouse for that. I'm playing in a controller. Reyes, October 19th, 162 centimeters. Occupation, homicide detective, 3rd class. Likes, rice, limes, and automotive history. Dislikes, liars, small plates, and cheap people. Enjoys, watching product reviews. Bad at game of chance. Okay. London, Kasim, London. He likes photography, dive bars, and bangs. Like hair bangs, or dislikes ties, pollen, after-hour work messages. Sorry, not massage. Listens to podcasts. His hobby is pencil sketching and is frequently running late. And the heartbreak killer. Unknown. Occupation criminal. Likes killing. Dislikes getting caught. Favorite color, probably red. Zodiac sign, probably not into astrology. Reward, suspended due to influx of false reports. Neat. Okay, back to what they were saying. Join in the local net on your phone and we'll turn over everything you need. I'll bet. Thanks for that, detective. I'll make sure to read it over. If it's all the same, could I ask you two some questions while I've got you here? How kind of attorney wants to interrogate the detectives? This kind of attorney. You're just that pleasant. Come on, sunshine. That we're going to be punching out anytime soon, right? Whatever. Let your client screw in interrogations all night for all I care. You mean the counseling quarters? Or your disposal counselor? Neat. Let me in there. Barren, stark, and uninviting. This must be Reyes' desk. Keeping your workstation neat and tidy is admirable. Against by a single note of personalization. She's so new that she hasn't had time to unpack, or is she really that uptight and boring? Both, maybe. What's over here? Loose wires, missing panels, and aircon system that's probably sweats more than people are supposed to cool. No room in the building. No room in the budget for making the office not look like shit, huh? I expect to find a lot of belt tightening at Homicide. I didn't think their operation would be this bare bones. They got a stunning clearance rate and they work fast. SSA sees that. It just assumes their job is easy. Maybe their job is easy. But with our dear doting surveillance state eliminating so much of the footwork, if your wheels don't squeak, you don't get the palms greased. So Homicide ends up as the only state department with a shrinking budget. Dumping grounds for the police force's most unambitious and the least popular. Cool. What's up? Wait. One more. Latest Noble androids receive warm welcome. Bolstered by a strong earnings report and surging sales of the Animate 16 Noble Electronics stock rose a stunning 3%. This week's new record high. While Noble's latest iteration has yet to surpass the sheer popularity of predecessors, increased profit margins has left Noble shareholders very enthused. Many investors were skeptical when, at their now infamous 2084 trade convention, Noble announced that the 16 line would be the first generation of androids to feature over 50% organic components. So-called warm androids, who at the time only saw demand in the health, senior, and childcare sectors looked down upon as impractical due to the increased maintenance costs, cuts, scratches, and bruises and the like. And while some critics voice concerns that fringe religions or traditionalist groups might find the war androids controversial, more business-focused minds feared that Noble was alienating its customers in the industrial and military sectors in order to cater to civilian consumers. Interesting. Users that viewed androids from across the room and not from the factory floor. However, as often been the case with the last decade, Noble's doubters were proven wrong. The Animate 16 poised to break profitability records with no signs of slowing down. And many industry analytics predict that these once rare organic androids will completely replace their more robotic predecessors in daily life. How do you get 50%? Like, are you taking the body parts from someone, or are you turning someone into an android? That's what I'm asking. As described in the earnings report, much of the 16th line's success, and indeed the success of Noble's androids in general, can be attributed to the remarkable, lifelike, personable charm of their products. And by all accounts, that charm can be attributed to the work of Noble's famed lead programmer, Dr. David Asher. Lead programmer is the understatement of the century, said Noble brand ambassador Lucy Dees on stage of their latest hashtag Noble Industry Weekend, is because of his Turing solution. I don't know what that word means. That every Noble product, from the sleekest assistants to the most advanced intensive care technicians, are so beloved and trusted by our customers. While his reputation on full display at the event, Dr. Asher himself was nowhere to be seen. He's always been reclusive, but he's become a genuine hermit in recent years. Are we really to believe he's still, hey fam, looks like you're not logged in on this device. We'll put your account on info so we can keep reading. Fuck you. He's in the news again. It's no wonder. Can't spit without landing a piece on Noble these days. Especially now where state's involved. They don't know all their bite when it comes to warm androids. For government use, they're just too frail, I think. Yeah. All androids undergo wear and tear, especially if they're directing traffic or suppressing crowds. So if these warm androids bleed pink all over themselves every time they take a rock to the cheek, it's just an endless stream of bad photo ops waiting to happen. I think I got a new word. No, I got a new article. That's cool that I can do that up here. Save. Hey, man. Shouldn't clean up so much for little old me, Detective London. Someone really needs to introduce this guy to a filing system, or even a stapler. Paper documents scattered around lazily, alongside actual photographs. He's really old-fashioned and really paranoid about data leaks. He doesn't look like the bitten paranoid type. Oh well, orderliness aside, some things are better in paper. I'll give him that. Okay, nothing else dumps at me around here. Get a better idea who I'm dealing with at least. And you check the crime scene data. Should have been sent a link. You've been granted access to state files regarding case. I like the leet speak. Reply C to confirm. Confirm. You need to reply C in order to confirm. Am I talking to a person? I'm an automated dependent. Ads are usually more polite. Our personalities are tailored to suit our users' preferences. So the state's like that you. So the state likes you to be a little authoritarian. You need to reply C. C. It's case sensitive. Thank you. Okay. All right. If I project this from my phone, that was really good. Yay, crime scene. Give me a second. Hi, Ace. This game is really good so far. All right, let's see what the police have. What they think is important. I want to look at the body first, to be honest. That's a gun outline. Fun. the victim's body. Cause of death, ballistic trauma, class 4 blood loss, atrium and aorta. Artora. What word is that? Backlog. Left trigger. Aorta. Sorry, I know that word. Single gunshot wound to the heart in brief. Death was instantaneous. No injuries anywhere else. No blood or skin under her nails. Blood splatter, forensics, and all the other good stuff tells them that she was shot from here. So killer was standing in the door when they fired. Fun. I'm gonna guess the bullet also hit here. Stand in the mirror, shattered and knocked over. Real glass. No screens or cameras here. It was hit hard. Hard enough to come unattached from its arm, while shards of glass were scattered far enough to land on the victim's body. What a mess. Did I get a new word? Oh, I'm getting evidence now. Ah, fun! I'm having fun. The murder weapon, a revolver. Hey, we don't know if it's the murder weapon technically. Found right next to the body. 6 empty casings found in each 6 chambers, meaning the gun's been fired 6 times. Looks like the crime scene techs practically assembled the damn thing. The found its fingerprints belonged to my client. So he was found by the police with the murder weapon right in front of the body. I don't even know where to start. Highly prejudicial would be an understatement. What is this? Who knows? Vase. Seems like this vase got tossed over at some point. Yet there's not a scratch on it. Must be pretty damn durable. Isn't art supposed to be delicate? Maybe it's making a statement. That's all the big ticket items. What about security? Looks like the apartment was unlocked at night. It's not common for people their age in a neighborhood like this. With no signs of forced entry, only hurts my client's case. What about the rest of the room? There's not much else flagged here. Just a lounge chair that got thrown in. Whatever that is. Unidentified ceramic debris. Flag is irrelevant? That's their technical assessment? Guess even the crime scene techs weren't sure what to make of it. Okay. That's everything the police highlighted. But did I miss anything? No! I want to keep going. I know there's something. Ah! The hell is that? Something in the victim's hands? How did... It's just a pill organizer. Looks like some immune adjusters, NSAIDs, and triprexazone, a synthetic glucocorticoid medication taken daily to reduce rejections of symptoms like phantom pain and generalized itch. The autopsy said her tox stream was cleared, but not like it matters. She could have swallowed every damn medicine in the cabinet in the city. It still wouldn't change the cause of death. It's odd, but ultimately irrelevant. Everything else here is all very incriminating, but the kicker's everything that's not here. No out-of-place DNA, footprints, crumbs. Nothing that proves towards anything except my client. Did I get a new word? I think I did. IoT. Internet of Things refers to the networked data sharing that goes on between all the countless electronics that we monitor ourselves with: phones, computers, security systems, biofeedback devices, body modifications, prosthetics, and of course automated dependents. All compromise small but vital parts of the network. Without IoTs, the ability to collect and process and share information. Oh, they're explaining like in-game how they're doing this. It's fun. Share information across massive opportunity cost build-ups as individuals, governments, and private businesses miss out on valuable insight that data has to offer. One of the coolest ways IoT improves our lives is through the usage of crumbs, small packets of data containing your very own unique identifying information. Throughout the day, as your own IoT devices say hi to each other, they leave behind crumbs as a parting gift. Crumbs allow for paperless identification and payment. Help the government manage human vehicular traffic. Crumbs let you see where you've been so you can see where you should go. Want to start leaving crumbs wide awake? Don't worry. Crumbs are enabled by default. Not interested in sponsored research results? See further with a premium account. That's so fucking funny. I've done more with less before, but not much more. I'm really gonna have to sing for my supper this time. Better get start. How's messaging me at this time of night? First person comes to mind is, I suppose it could be something important. Currently texting with Pratt. Red. What couldn't wait until morning? Good news, of fucking course. Got a job for you. That's a pretty cheering when you tell me that you violated parole. Well, not that kind of job. Besides, I've been covering my tracks. It's something different. Kind of thing I can't handle with just keyboard and phishing scheme. I need you to sue my gym teacher. Not that kind of lawyer, sorry. Hey, at least let me finish. What did they do? Make me run laps. Not illegal. Let me finish. They made me run laps. Even though I said I had a stomachache. Said. Gotta be like youth endangerment. Depraved indifference or some kind of shit. Sounds like you already got a strong case. Try self-resembling this time. What's with the blow-off? Not phrasing. Nice phrasing. Oh, wow. I'm laughing so hard right now. See? Is that your mugshot? I wasn't not going to get a copy of my mugshot and use it as a reaction. God, you found a use case. But I'm working right now, so anything cool? Homicide. Oh, cringe. Wait, what kind of homicide? Is it HBK? Is that the kind of morbid thing your kids age talk about? Teens my age. And yeah, we can read. Compared to the corrupt shit in the headlines. Old-fashioned murder is like Hardy B is like quaint. I'm happy. It's not heartbreak. Then why'd you take the job, LOL? You see the 98% conviction rate as a challenge or something? Taking them a lost cod? Probe knows work? It's pro bono. That was autocorrect. You know, when they get lit home... Sorry, I can't. You know when they give lit homework for a reason, right? This is borderline concern nagging. You really are bleeding heart. Or just a sucker. I'm not a sucker. Nice phrasing, lol. You should go to bed, Fran. I'm on Sunday. I can stay up if I want. Tomorrow is Sunday. Because today is Saturday. What's with the Carpe Diem shit? It's nearly 4 a.m., kid. You got school in like 3 hours. Shit. Repeat offenders may be good for business. I gotta drink water. That was fun. But that kid's bad for my blood pressure. Important text messages, I take it? Just your typical teenage drama. So then, if you wouldn't mind filling me in on a few details. Details. So at the basics, what exactly has my client been charged with? Your client, Carlos Baker Flat, was arrested on the scene at 9:50 p.m. Use his middle name already. They really do think he's a serial killer. Charged being the first-degree murder of his girlfriend, a Miss Diane Dawn. First degree, that's increasingly rare, to say the least. It's rare for us to get handed anything but crimes of passion around here. So you got damn near more cameras than people. So you really gotta be really, really stupid to try to get away from with murder. Heartbreak's gotten away with it 6 times. So what's that make him? 5 times, and that makes him insane. I was gonna go with extraordinary. Let's split the difference and say he's extraordinarily insane. But nutjobs like him, like that, aren't renowned for the ability to think ahead. So it makes you think this was premeditated. How about the fact that he killed 5 other women as a warm-up? A warm-up? 5 previous bullets, 5 previous victims. None of them knew each other, lived near each other, worked the same fields. Weeks of digital autopsies crawling around down their online profiles. Nothing. So his serial killer chose the victims at random? They have nothing in common. Yeah, nothing in common at all. And they all look like cousins. What? The physical similarities are striking. All 5 prior victims were young women with brown hair and eyes. About the same height, comparable weight. Well, those features aren't exactly uncommon, couldn't it be? A coincidence? You really believe that you should quit your job and start buying lotto tickets? He's got himself a type. Anyone can see that. You're really going to try me that you don't see any resemblance? Young woman, brown hair, brown eyes. Can't tell. It's all she is from a portrait, but I can take the hint. So you think what, exactly? That Carlos Flat wanted to kill his girlfriend so badly he went and shot her 5 other women first? Hey, the shoe fits. The shoe fits. Then you put the shoe on, and what Sunshine means, it's not uncommon for killers to place their violence from people close to them onto outlets with fewer consequences. Drifters, loners, strangers, workers. Probably building up the nerve tonight by practicing on these other similar women. Or he's just so far gone that he can't tell the difference anymore. Not the worst theory in the world, but doesn't fit. They want to claim that those previous victims were practice runs, dress rehearsals for tonight's main event. If that's the case, there'd have been signs of hesitation, nerves. There'd been mistakes. On top of which, guns are impersonal, execution shots, even more so. There's no sadism or hatred or intimacy in a single bullet to the heart. Killing a girlfriend or her lookalikes is, if nothing else, a lot less sterile. If you ask me. What the fuck was that? What? Okay. Timeline. Saw the time of death was 9 p.m. on the autopsy, but do you have a timeline for the rest of the night's events? Can't trust much of what comes out of his mouth, but we managed thanks to less biased sources. We're pretty confident about what we've been able to piece together from their statements. So they've interviewed witnesses? Sounds eerily similar to real police work. The suspect and his girlfriend were arguing loudly with each other starting around 8 p.m. Oh, look, her eye is glowing. Whoa. Neighbors were very clear about that part. Couldn't wait to tell us about the happy couple's domestic problems. Everyone in the building knew they'd been fighting for weeks. You probably gathered from what you saw in the arcs. There was a struggle. Furniture turned over, glass shattered. Quiet sometime before 9 p.m. And then there's a gunshot. Scrubbers are still scrubbing, looking for audio from the area to get a time stamp. We've heard enough. I consider citizens to be damn well sure about the time. Right. Emergency services got a bust of calls from the block shortly after 9 p.m. No one seemed to recognize the sound of what it was. The silence that followed was pretty universally alarming. Officers arrived on the street at 9:08 p.m. to establish the perimeter, entered through the front door at 9:10 p.m. And then they find your client crouched over his dead girlfriend, his hand covered in her blood. At which point they moved to secure the scene and the suspect. Give me a second. Listen, I'm all for it. Innocent until proven guilty, but this guy's it's sounding pretty fucking dead to rights to me. It's flat. I should look at that when I meet them. Net scrubbing. Net scrubbing refers to the process of scouring all available data posted on the net with a certain time frame, location, and location range for evidence of a crime, an increasingly common technique for police department, corporate investigators, and occasionally public relationship firms. While the brute force work is performed by automated dependents, either digital or physical, experienced human supervisors must establish a strict search constraint in order to produce usable results. Interest in the practice spiked when Senator Bancroft positioned it as a key pillar of his party's law and order platform. But pollings indicate voters rarely have a strong opinion about the process, and the topic has since faded from political discourse. Neat. What was the other one? Digital autopsy. The law enforcement's process of locating, bypassing authentication on, and investigating all of a deceased individuals' online profiles, commonly used to seek out possible connections from the suspects to other victims. The widely utilized practice has been scrutinized in the past by some privacy advocates, but many victims' families who lack the ability to find, let alone access, all of their deceased loved ones' accounts argue for its necessity. Comparable processes are offered as a paid service by some legal or funerary groups to help next of kin recover or delete sensitive personal data. This is very dystopic. At times, these services have been marketed as a defense against data criminals attempting to steal the identities of the dead before their accounts are wiped from the state processes. Users also frequently search for grave cobbling, how to stop stolen identity, and how to delete dead profile. Okay. Sorry, did you say his hand? Singular? Your client's modded. Oh, we got another word. Cybernetic right arm. How modded are we talking about here? Registered with a HAL 5085 habilis, industrial grade, looks like. Says he's spec for a dexterous manipulation of up to class 4 kPa, which means a minimum grip strength of, well, basically, you could crush your neck without even gritting his teeth. Considering a career change? No, it's not that. It's just, your eye must be very sensitive for you to put the patch back on each time. Here, I thought you just had a 14-year-old sense of fashion. Think a cop would cover her dominant eye because it was fashionable? I actually thought the same thing first time we met. You what? Getting back on track. The arm has been modded. That arm has been shot for some time now. Can't work without it. Money's got tight. The arguing? Yeah. When he put his arm for repairs. 8 days before HK's victim was first killed. Well, no chance to be willing to chalk that up to coincidence. Client was arrested on the scene after a preliminary scan found his fingerprints on the revolver. And no one else's. Revolver? What kind? The old kind. The real old kind. More specifically, a Calver M54, 6-chambered, 10 millimeters. Calver, how retro. You don't know the half of it. We're talking steel chamber, real gunpowder, mechanical firing pin, and no tags. No tags, how's that? So how old are we talking here? Yeah, 24/7 location data, timestamp trigger pulls, safety-coded owner biometrics. For the past 3 decades, tags made shooting crimes very unambiguous. So you claim my client used some sort of antique to commit these crimes? How else could you think he gotten away with it 5 other times? If you tried to buy a gun legit, you probably failed the first psych check. And even a jailbroken pieces are only good for so long before the update withdrawal sets in. So then, M54, that's model year 2054. 30-year-old gun. That's not that old. That sure complicates things, doesn't it? In some ways, sure. But pre-tagging firearms are rare. Gotta be less than 1,000 of them left in the whole country. Fewer still compatible bullets. The ammunition was been over 30 years old too. Novelty of his weapon has kept us in the dark so far. Now we have our hands on it, it's going to put him away for good. Archive department complained loud as hell about how deep they had to dig. But with protocols they found, the tech were able to match the rifling marks on all 6 bullets to the gun your client was found with. Rifling marks? Bullets fired from guns that are old, marked by the barrel's shape. So if all 6 bullets had the same rifling marks, they're all fired by the same gun. It's not as plug-and-play as tags are, but equally precise science, I assure you. If that's not damning enough, the spent casings from the other 5 shootings were still in the chamber, without even needing to reload. Caliber your client was found with is the gun HK used to kill 6 women. No way to lawyer around that. An untagged gun. Just being anywhere near a weapon like that could warrant your arrest. Being found by the police over a dead body with an untagged gun. Is it 5 of the crime scenes is just... To summarize then, you believe that my client fought verbally, then physically with his girlfriend. He retrieved the weapon and shot her? Yeah, pretty much. How do you look when the officers found him? Guilty. How was his affect? Quiet, detached, stiff. Not exactly the picture of a grieving partner. Yeah, Russian may have lost him. Points with the cops. Beyond that, people react lost in all in unusual ways. As long as the police are suspicious of you, there's no right way to grieve. Let's do heartbreak. Checking my phone here, and I have to say, you're doing a pretty admirable job keeping the details of HK's crimes a secret. Less reputable sites are doing some real journalistic acrobatics trying to piece together a story. Yeah, top 11 theories on who hurt HK was a real weighty read. It's not just the journalists, though. All kinds have been emboldened. Freaks that HK's managed to bring out of the woodwork in just a few weeks. Can you blame them, though? I mean, he's a genuine serial killer. Repeat offenders in general are an endangered species, but he got away with... We know what he's gotten away with. Take a look around us, detective. National DNA registries are robust enough that cases never go cold. Cameras on every street, a phone on every citizen. Violent crimes at an all-time low, clearance rate at all-time highs. But you gonna spot some alt-pol bullshit about invasion of privacy? No, I'm not. People are safer now than any other time in history, detective. So when someone like Heartbreak does come along... Good point. I'm just trying to look like he can laugh it off. The pressure from the higher ups must be reaching its peak. They want, maybe need, to see someone charged, and that makes them predictable. This character is unhinged. I can tell, like I said earlier, the way she acts outwardly compared to how I'm reading her thoughts is way different, and I really like that. That's really hard to write. Yeah, well, even if there's nothing standard about HK, Department SOP indicates that we starve the media for case details. That way, when we do feed them, they're grateful for whatever scraps they get. But we can't take the credits this time around. Homicide's tight-knit, tight-lipped, but it's not like there's much information for us to leak in the first place. And what's that? Because none of the shootings were caught on the opt-in crime surveillance system. How's that even possible? I can assume what that is. I don't need to read that. Also, I'm having fun, so I don't want to stop. I know there's some rough areas in the lower wards, but optics watching every corner in the street. Saying you haven't seen the killer on camera once? You think we'd let him kill 6 people if we did? I understand your concern, man, but optics is only what it says in the name. Private surveillance systems are signing up to feed into the state security network. Characters are fun? I agree! It's not perfect. Just another one of many public safety tools in our belt. It's not meant to be perfect. It's meant to help us solve crimes. Or at least act as a deterrent. One would hope so. That chance. Deterrents are for war rooms and board meetings. Even crazy or desperate enough to commit a crime in a city like this couldn't care less about anything as vague as the consequences of their actions. It's like a safety blanket, one with very few holes left in it. But it does have holes. Patching up those remaining holes takes effort. That usually means rebooting the system. There's all kinds of technical details, digital bureaucracy involved. But the end result is that the occasional localized blackouts, the math used to schedule them, is not impossible to predict. I see. But those Windows opportunities are so small and short, taking advantage of them requires specific knowledge. You being involved with law enforcement, pub data, or city planning. They mentioned if my client was a cop, you wouldn't have needed a public defender either. So I'll say he's modded for heavy mass manipulation, not tech interfacing, so at least city planning. So he does work for construction for the city? HK has only ever struck at times and locations where optics will be down. Makes sense, even with the devil's own luck. Can't possibly be a coincidence. Hey, that's like the name of the game. Wait, so you're saying that when this woman was killed, yeah, there was a blackout from around 8 p.m. to 9 tonight. Right on schedule, so to speak. And include the area surrounding the victim's apartment. What about DNA from the other crime scenes? Am I client to match? There's been no blood, no saliva, no suspect DNA at any scene of the crime. What? No footage and no forensics? Also no motives, tampering, or witnesses. It's been like hunting a damn ghost. We didn't even have a murder weapon until now. Finally, a lucky break for the boys in blue. Scanners, cams, drones, forensics. No matter how you dress it, with all all detective work rises on one basic assumption: people make mistakes. But HK is the kind of monster who doesn't make mistakes. The only reason we even caught him tonight was because he finished what he had to set out to do all along. So is my client on the list of suspects before tonight? Weren't you listing? There was no list of suspects. Just in some execs, a few CIs, someone even spoke to one or two unlisted at some point. Nothing came of it. There was even talk about starting some sort of psych eval or something. I never expected much to come of that. There's just not enough to work with. In other words, the only thing they could have to link my client to those killings is a murder weapon. If I can just jostle that keystone, the rest of the case should start to come loose as well. Let's take a second to read the updated terms. Optics. No, let's do caliber because it's a gun. Manufacturer of civilian firearms from 2031 to 2062. When it was bought out by Thortec, an acquisition group specializing in security and national defense. Now a subsidiary of the Quinn Defense Corporation. Though no guns born of caliber branding since the production halted in 2060, the once iconic brand was briefly revived in 2071. Quarter 2 was a series of video game memorabilia tie-ins promotions meant to increase in-game item sales before the discontinuation 2071 quarter 3 for failing to increase in-game item sales. So stupid. Update on the Heartbreak Killer. Oh, okay. Hey there! Looks like you're trying to search a term for an ongoing investigation. Until authorities have made their findings public, results may heavily curated and aren't temporarily unavailable. Read more about how we can cooperate with authorities to combat this information here. Thanks. Thank you. Mods. Body modifications, aka mods, is a term that refers to cybernetic prosthetics of artificial implants, neural enhancements, or any combination of the above. Well, body modifications have been seen throughout history and seen across a wide range of cultures. Modern body modification movement is differentiated by a shift from intrinsic fact, expression, or identity to extrinsic motivators, to opportunities, technological benefits, improvements in physical or mental ability. Historically, mods have been classified based on which section of the usual spine cord interfacing occurs at, thoracic, lumbar, or cervical. But this system does not account for mods which interact directly with the human brain. The increased prevalence of so-called above-the-neck modding in recent years has led to several corporations and medical organizers proposing their own new classification for systems, but so far none have gained such traction. Users also frequently search for, can you return mods? Can you undo mod surgery? Best reviewed neural implants 2086. Optics. The Opt-in Crime Surveillance System, abbreviated as Optics, is a partnership program between the state and private enterprises that allows for the free sharing of surveillance and security data to better promote and preserve public safety. Accessible through state employee logins or private partner accounts, Optics Smart UI allows users to search through and collate footage from a city of tens of millions in just a few simple keystrokes. Optics is frequently cited in state reports as one of the most effective tools for reducing crime. I have an idea on how to make the stream slightly more entertaining, sorry. As I was reading that. Give me a second. Is she there? Yeah! Yes! Mingus! Woo! There we go. Now you have something to look at in the bottom right corner. Okay. I was reading something. It was optics, right? Optics is frequently cited in state reports as one of the most effective tools in reducing crime footage from optics. Sorry, I got lost track. I need to get water in a second. It's key evidence in criminal proceedings, where it is considered admissible by default. See the People versus Irawan. User also frequently search for public safety measures in my area. Detail security level. Okay, I'm gonna get a water. So, be right back. See you in a second. I ran. Sorry, hold on. I ran upstairs to no, I walked downstairs to my computer and then realized I forgot my water, so I ran quickly back up. Sorry, I'm doing something. Let me take that off. I noticed my Fugi went away, so I'm going to try. Can I do this without... Will this work? Ah, you're not supposed to be seeing that. Sorry. So my issue with the Fugi tech is that you need to be in a call for it to be active, but if you're in a call by yourself, then you get kicked. So, oh, I guess I could just make a server. That's a funny idea. Let me just make a server with no one in it. Yeah, how's that? Perfect. Cool. This is my streaming zone. No one is invited. This is my place. Or me. Okay, back to it. Actually, I'm going to check my phone first. Anyway, this game is really, really cool. Okay. Take a sip of my water. Ugh. By the way, I couldn't help but notice that you're light on staff. It's 3 in the morning. Were you expecting a parade? Thought there'd be a few androids around here. Are many androids in any police station this week? Now, well, the brass is renegotiating contracts. Contracts with Noble? Good guess. Hardly. They're the biggest robotics corp there is. Can spend all day in Center City without leaving the office's shadow. Yes, we're very fortunate to have them headquartered here. Saves us some money on shipping, at least. Stocks never last that long. I'm sure they'll be back to writing checks for Noble ads by the end of the month. I wonder what I use those for. Even with Noble pushing those warm Android products. Warm, yeah. Might as well call it the adult line. Might see him in the bigger departments or out on patrol. Not around these offices. When we're cold, there's no such thing as an Android detective. Yet. Yet, really? Or any day now? I'm going to say any day now. Guess we should be expecting those any day now. Maybe Android lawyers, too. Get some Android politicians, we have a full set. Get real. People might act like ads. People might like ads, but who... Reading is so hard. Get real. People might like ads who do what they're told, but they despise ads who tell them what to do. I'm not so sure. Cameras, sensors, satellites already got our facts from machines. We get all our facts from machines. A few more years, and it might make sense to let machines do the investigating too. The police union wouldn't let that happen. She didn't even have specified the only real union there is anymore. That makes sense. Thanks for the chat, detectives. I think I understand the background well enough now. Canonically, I see the same strokes you do at the picture. It paints isn't pleasant. But even so, it seems a bit unrefined to be brought before a judge, don't you think? It's only our job to catch the bastard. The DA is still the one who gets the conviction. Besides, we're not exactly going to have to work hard to convince anyone of his guilt. And why is that? Because we found a handwritten confession at his desk. Yeah. Well, that's unexpected. I'm sorry. Now you're telling me that he wrote a confession? Has it been verified? Not yet. We have to muscle past everyone in fraud and disinfo to get to the front of that line. Why bother? The note's covered in his fingerprints. There's a copy in the discovery data, but I should warn you. It doesn't exactly make for a light reading. I'll have to manage somehow. I need to see the confession for myself. I'm going to take a big gulp of water before this. Sorry for everything. Can't say it enough. Didn't mean to hurt you or do what I did. Did not. Sick. Oh, because it's a typo. I want any of this to happen. Can't stay in control when I get mad. When I'm not in control, I hurt people without meaning to. Wish I hadn't broken them. Didn't mean to at first, but I was hurting. Wanted you to hurt too, but didn't want to hurt you. Words aren't enough, and I know that now. I'll take responsibility and do what I've been avoiding. Please forgive me. That was difficult to read. Barely legible, in fact. That's her takeaway, really? Well, got a spin on that? No need. But it's a confession. Not a confession that he signed, though, is it? Not yet. Not one he intends to sign anytime soon, considering that he asked for representation. Yeah, the most wanted man in the city asked for a lawyer and got you. Guess you're both lucky. Hardly! I just happened to be awake when the call went out. But I'm not so flush with work that I can afford to turn tail now. So if you don't mind, I'd like to go and speak with my client. What? Still handcuffed in there, is he? Look, counselor, with all due respect, we have strong evidence pointing that the man being responsible for 6 murders. 2 hours or so in cuffs isn't cruel or unusual. And that's for your safety as well. It's kind of you to worry, but I doubt I'll be in any danger. He's killed 6 women. None of them were redheads. Seriously, though, I'd like to speak with him alone now. Camera's off, if you don't mind. Mike's on or off is your call, counselor. But we'll be watching the feed from right outside in case anything happens. And the cuffs? The cuff, that is, stays on. That worried about me? How chivalrous. Yeah, my armor's practically blinding. Gross. I'll start up the unlock cycle. Counselor, just one last word of advice. If you have any interest in his well-being, I suggest you help him sign that confession. Not a bad idea. I do get paid either way. The defense part of the defense attorney isn't just for show, detective. I mean it. 6 people dead is one thing, but he also caused weeks of widespread terror and public unrest. Putting it another way, he's made the state look bad. It's a capital crime if there ever was one. Even if the death penalty's not actually on the table these days, I can guarantee you he's not going to like whatever rehabilitation plan they drop for him. Look, I've seen the virtual work release program in person, and it's being challenged before the Supreme Court. Yeah, sometime in the next decade, maybe. See, I want to read that. Okay. Hey there, due to ongoing controversy following the suspected suicide of inmate Jay Galley, search results for this term are temporarily blocked. Okay. Yeah, sometime in the next decade, maybe. Just remember, a plea deal might feel like a loss for you, but it keeps him from, well, that's probably a win for your client, right? Prison sentences are generally lighter for those who plead guilty. That much is true. Save the courts a great deal of time and money. And they show their gratitude with reduced sentencing. No one will ever be grateful onwards to Heartbreak Killer. No one will ever be grateful towards the Heartbreak Killer. Anyone convicted for killing 6 people, they'll never rest their mind another day in their life. June 5th, 2086, at 3 in the morning. What's this guy look like? Hi. It's depressing as hell in here. I need to liven this place up. Carlos flat, right? Hope you don't mind if I get comfortable. Got a lot to cover. This shouldn't take all night. What are you... Look, I already told you people I didn't... I'm not a cop, Carlos. The furthest thing from it. I'm a lawyer. Your lawyer, in fact. I'm here to help you. Yeah, well, they said that too. All of them did. Back there, in there, kept repeating the whole ride over. Said that they're going to help me, that they knew this was all a mistake. that they said that I killed, acting like they were on my side. And they thought that I could have, that I... It's not their job to help you, Carlos, but it is mine, and I'm here now. He's still in shock. Need more information, but if I approach this the wrong way, it'll just clam up even more. I'm sure you're exhausted. Probably difficult to think, let alone speak. But I'd like you to try to answer a few questions. Police already question you, I'm sure. But they're treating you as a suspect, not as a client. Okay. So what do you want to know? I want to know about you, man. What's up? Let's start simple. Something mundane, grounded, wrote. I'd like to know a bit more about you first, Carlos. Something like, what line of work are you in? I'm with City Engineering. Or I was, or I should be. As I thought, the police must be convinced he mapped the optics blackouts using the data he stole from work. My arm, I got it slotted for the job. And, Carlos, I need more than that. So what do I know? He works in City Engineering, not at his desk job. Reyes said he was monitored for work, and that arm must be in custody at the moment, but based on his shoulder, it'd have to be pretty... I'm gonna guess utilitarian. Cause, yeah. Utilitarian, yeah. He doesn't strike me as a type who enamored with the aesthetics of modding. Young and restless, and the rich, swapping in neon and chrome limbs. Because they like the way it looks. Or the way it makes people others start looking at them. No, he's pragmatic, grounded, and very unlucky. In which case, I like the pink highlights on this guy in his eyes. I should be too. You know, my brother modded a mod. Really? Really? I don't even have a brother. He had everything planned out. A whole career path of promotions and bonuses and the upgrades they could afford him. Then came his 18th birthday present. Test results politely informing him that he's not a viable candidate. That sucks. I think he felt relieved, actually. Seemed like there was a weight off his chest. Like he was glad he didn't have to choose. Does that make any sense? Yeah, I think it does. I always figured I'd start at all. Start small, a hand or an eye. Test the water. Never thought about lobbing my damn arm off. But the recruiter was enthusiastic. He said, because of the NCDA, there was a financial aid and resources. Of course, that got shit canned. So me and every other modder is royally screwed. Can't even let me keep the tax credit. The new Citizens with Disabilities Act was amended, not repealed. But I doubt you'd appreciate the distinction at the moment. Makes sense? I worked in the tighter spaces, the high volt environments, mostly canopy upkeep. Typical stuff for modders, you know? Speaking freely now. Didn't do much than repeat his words back to him and he kept talking. The right word choice here or there can still make a difference. You work on the canopy? You must be... I'm going to say under a lot of pressure because I unlocked that one. You must be under a lot of pressure now that the subways are cordoned off. Damn straight! And this crap with Long? Once word got out the case against him was real, every desk job in the chain became terrified of their own shadow. All of them convinced that the internal affairs are going to come knocking if they misplace so much as a paperclip. Everything by the book means no room for compromise, no room for problem solving, no room for engineering? Yeah. No patience for screw-ups. He's trying very hard not to look at his shoulder. Why aren't you wearing your prosthetic right now, Carlos? Yeah, that. Rejection issues starting last month. A lot of sleepless nights. Rejection? Did the therapy not take? Mod therapy! The process of adjusting the human mind and body for unique challenges and stresses that come with cybernetic modifications typically includes physical therapy, mental technique instruction, and sensitivity training. Depending on an individual's viability or lack thereof, medications and even minor viral tuning must be employed to modify the body's immune response. But improvements made in recent years in medically sterile alloys have greatly reduced the percentage of the patients that require such treatment. Neat. I can look at his profile now. Never mind. Charged with first-degree homicide. Criminal record, 2 civil disturbances with no charges. Registered at birth. Modification in industrial class 4. 2 pending. Okay. Where's the devil? I think she is, bro. It's not like that. I wasn't oozing pus out of my sockets or anything. Then do these rejection issues have anything to do with your scars? Not in the way you're thinking. I'm right-handed. So those cuts in his face are just from shaving? Never thought I'd go this long without having relearned how to do everything. I mean, the problem started small, trembling, but then spasms. Just oversensitivity, they said. An easy fix. But the problem got bigger. Couldn't let it get that far. Need to be able to trust your own hands when you're on the job site. Drop a cutter at the wrong moment and people could get hurt. So I sat down and made a point, tuned my arm. Watched my case get placed in the back of the damn line. Where'd you turn in? Some mass turnaround chop shop with a waiting list like you wouldn't. Doesn't sound like you're a happy customer. Hell no! I found a dozen other clinics with shorter wait times. As long as I'm renting and not owning, the manufacturer decides where your arm gets maintenance. That's really fucking shitty, but it's probably going to happen. Or it does happen. You know? Does that make sense? Sorry, I had to check my phone. I'm gonna keep checking it. I haven't even finished this episode and I want to buy the other ones. Also, it's not finished, which is fine. I like episodic games anyway. And that's why I'm sitting here with this expensive ass stump for a shoulder. I hadn't been at work for weeks. Bosses were getting generous enough to say my position might still be there when I got 2 working arms again. You can buy or rent a replacement yourself just in the meantime. I serve at the pleasure of the state. And they got exclusivity contracts with Hindi. All locked up, white knuckle tight. Hindi? How Industries? How Industries is the world leader in research, development, manufacturing, and fitting cybernetic prosthetics for commercial use. And we're hiring! Seeking motivated and passionate archivists, programmers, salespeople, and college graduates with degrees in digital archaeology, cybernetic anatomy, and more. Not interested in research results? See further with a premium. This is so funny. I love how they do this. The way, like, because they gave an in-universe explanation as to why data is everywhere. It's just awesome. As I recall, these are registered with one of the Habilis models. If I took one step on site with unsecured tech, forget the fines, I'd lose down payment on my arm. I'd never work in the city again. This was last quarter. Maybe I could have worked something out with management, but like I said, no one's sticking their neck out for anyone now that Long's deep in hot shit. You mentioned discomfort. Are you in pain? Pain will come and go. It's the itches that kill you. And the phantoms come back pretty fast when I don't have anything. I know what phantoms are. I played Metal Gear. Pains or discomforts that the brain experiences coming from an amputated part of the body. When stimuli stops coming from part of the body that is no longer there, the areas of the nervous system that were previously devoted to processing those sensations reconfigure themselves to still be of use. Occasionally, the brain mistakes this new sensory processing as still being associated with the pain or sensation from an amputated limb. Because of the large mental element at play, therapy for phantom pain reduction necessarily involves psychological conditioning and often the use of prosthetics. Phantom pain has become more widely experienced and understood as a result of the spread of body modification movement. Debate over the modern scene has increased or decreased public empathy for amputees. Damn, that sucks. And the disabled remain contentious. Did you mean phantom visions? Phantom visions are caused by faulty eye installation on cybernetic eye mods, resulting in periodic electrical discharge across the retina. Schedule a consultation immediately if you suspect this applies to you. Also frequently search for, my mod hurts, moderate itching. Is my arm haunted? Likes airports, worn shoes, and firm beds. Dislikes cabs, musicals, and cashews. His favorite flower is a poppy. His student debt is sizable, and his luck is poor. This guy just lives a real nice life, doesn't he? Yeah, I got you, man. I don't think you killed anyone. Arm shaped attached to me. Didn't they give you something to, well, wear in the meantime? Something that clanks lend out for cases like this? What they gave me is deadweight 3-jointed landfill bait piece of shit. Sorry, it's a very shitty feeling. Having part of your body that you know they cut corners on. It fits, it's compatible. Technically, I can slot it in and feel on balance again. But the fingers don't even bend and the quick twitch motors are way off. It's like walking around with your arm asleep or dead. So were you wearing it when... I'm going to say you were arrested. Were you wearing it when you were arrested? No, I wasn't. But I'm pretty sure I saw the police bagging it as evidence, so... Can't have gotten too far. So Detective Reyes was being quite literal about how he was found. He had the victim's blood in his left arm, only because at the time in question he didn't even have a right. No inconsistencies in the story so far. He's opened up as well as can be expected. But this has just been a warm-up for both of us. Now comes the delicate part. Carlos, you and the victim were romantically involved. How long did you two know each other? Right. I've known her since college. We shared a few classes, some mutual friends. Always got along. Eventually we just got together at some point. Guess I never actually asked her out in a real formal way. Sounds pretty cowardly saying that out loud. Diane, she was in genetics, focused on studies on agriculture. Which takes them a few tries to get used to using past tense. She has finished her post-grad work this year. Got hired right out of the gate. Practically headhunted. Headhunted, can you believe that? Practically headhunted. Of course she was. Any company would be lucky to have her, unlike... It was a real ass job. Paid real ass money, too. So her career was starting to pan out. Right, Rose has fallen into the mother of all slumps. Where was she hired? Pedigree? No. Perigee Laboratories. I say that like the name matters. The whole setup's under Harco's umbrella. Doesn't narrow it down. The Harvest Corporation grows a third of the soybeans and corn in the entire country. One client that size, the lab wouldn't need any others. Now, no corporation owns the mega prefix without a little throat cutting. But Harco is about the same as big business can get. Predictable like the seasons. No one's going to buy that. They had some lab tech murdered because of corporate greed. Had she adjusted well to her new job? Yeah, they loved having her there. Did she ever mention any arguments or disputes? Corporate politics getting rough? I don't think so. Not like I've ever been a good listener lately. But I never got the impression that she... Look, no one I know could do this to her. And there's nothing she could have done that would deserve what happened to her. It was a long shot, hoping for a disgruntled character from the past to shift blame onto. With no other suspects, I can't reshuffle the detective's suspicions. I'll have to disprove their argument entirely. I'm enjoying seeing her thought process play out. Thank you, Carlos. That was very helpful. It was. And I'd like you to try and tell me whatever you can about what happened tonight. Oh. Start at the beginning and take your time. The details are important. Alright, Miss, Morgan. I'll try, Morgan. When you're ready. We were arguing. We had been arguing a lot lately. Arguing about stupid stuff. I hadn't been working. Hadn't been making money. Hadn't been pulling my weight. I was mad at myself. But more than that, I was jealous of her. Jealous over nothing. Jealous over goddamn money. Reports say you were arguing around 8 p.m.? 8? Yeah, it must have been when we started. We got into it and I said a lot of things that I shouldn't have. I said one thing that I really, really shouldn't have. I crossed the line and we both knew it, so I left. You left? Yeah. Walked out the front door. Thought some fresh air might help me cool off. Help me figure out what to say to make it up to her. Of course, the air wasn't fresh, just humid. Thick like mud. While I was pissing away the time, Diane was... Did you bring your phone with you or any other electronics? No. I kind of stormed off. Didn't even take my key fobs. Didn't even lock the door behind me. Ah, with optics down, traffic and street level cameras wouldn't help him. That leaves. Did you go through a checkpoint or talk to anyone with modded eyes? Did you buy anything, cash or credit? No, not even a vending machine. That really sucks. Not even a goddamn vending machine, huh? I may have met my match. How can anyone be this unlucky? That's quite unfortunate. I just wanted quiet at the time. Wanted to wallow in it, really. Sorry if I don't have the details straight. My head is. My exact route would help. The cams probably... What is it? The cameras were off, sir. Optics was what? Can that even happen? And there's no other proof that you were out at the time Diane was killed. Meaning you've got no alibi. This isn't... This can't... Listen, I didn't do this. I couldn't... Carlos, I'm the one person you don't have to try and convince. After all, I'm your lawyer. So let's just get it all out there and see what we've got to work with. Right. Now you said you left to clear your head. So what made you come back? I came back because I heard a noise. A loud noise. Didn't know what it was. But it was loud. It scared me. It came from the direction of our apartment. I was walking back at first. But at some point I started running. Because when I got back, I was so out of breath. When I saw that, the front door was open. Something dropped in my chest and my lungs would... You live on the first floor, right? Yeah, first floor apartment. Street facing entrance. We were proud of that when we first moved in. Like it was some kind of big deal. From the hallway I saw her, but I didn't realize. I never thought that she was... The lights were off, the whole room was a mess. I thought she had been robbed. She had fallen, or... There's broken glass, furniture knocked over. And she was... I called her name and she didn't move. I checked her pulse and she was still warm. Her blood was warm. And I saw the gun. Looked so heavy, but I thought it had to be fake because I didn't want it to be real. Is that why you picked it up? What? Pick it up? I didn't touch that thing. I didn't shoot her, damn it. Doing what you do, I hear a lot of lies. Doing what I do, you hear a lot of lies. White lies, blatant lies, hasty lies. Bad lies, especially. For me, it's always been easy to spot a lie. But getting hard to know what it's about. What to do about it. I have all the proof I need in my files, but he's nervous and defensive. And none of this works if he doesn't trust me. Stay up to date on the details of all evidence by checking your phone. If your clients notice that you don't know what you're talking about, they'll stop giving you any credit. Fuck! This game is really cool. You did touch the gun, Carlos. That's because we know for a fact your fingerprints were on it. I know this, but I'm going to check anyway, just in case. This is just like real life, yeah. Evidence. His coat was there? The victim, Diane Don, was 27-year-old agricultural genetics for Perigee Laboratories, found shot through the heart in the bedroom of an apartment she shares with the prime suspect, Carlos Flat. Sorry, Diane. Oh, this is stuff already there. Okay, I see. Yeah, his fingerprints. Yup. There you go, buddy. Yeah, this is just like real life. It's a fact that your fingerprints are on that gun. What? But I didn't do this. I wasn't thinking. I was just... Carlos, all I'm saying is that you picked it up. That's all. Would you believe if I said I didn't realize it was a gun? That makes sense considering. Someone texted me. It was nothing important. Yeah. That explains how his prints got on the gun. But not in a way that would satisfy the police. So if all he did was hold the gun. So stupid. I know what a gun looks like. But seeing in my own home right in front of... You were in shock, Carlos. You still are. The police came in sometime after that. I don't remember much of what they said. Things started moving fast, it seemed like. The rest of my night went probably the way you'd expect. Carlos, you admit to having a verbal argument with Diane. But what you said you were surprised to see the room thrashed when you got back. To clarify, you saying that you two never had a physical fight? What? Physical? We never fought. We never fought like that. Did the police say that we did? Well, I know that you did. They assumed as much. So they all assumed the room was disheveled well before the shooting occurred. Seeing what Carlos told me, what else did they assume? What is it? I'd like you to take a look at something for me. The crime scene. Oh. It's an error module built from the data at the police center, so... Right, it's just data, Carlos. No grisly details. Okay. Let me see it. Take your time. Alright, I think I've got it. That's how the police found things. Now, if you close your eyes and think back to how the room looked when you left, try and focus on what's out of place. Alright. I'll take notes. You just say whatever comes to mind. I don't exactly remember where everything was. But, well, the mirror was upright, of course. And that clock was still on the wall. Oh, the clock, that's what it was on the floor. The chair got knocked over at some point, and the bed got tossed, the cushion torn, and the urn fell. Other than that... No, sorry. That's all that stands out to me. I see. Like so? What a dramatic fucking reveal. What's wrong? Something out of place? What is he supposed to glean from that? Carlos, if you don't trust your instinct, you need to trust your instinct. If anything seems off, don't be afraid to speak up. She looks so proud of it, too. It's just, I guess I assume your notes will be making edits to the AR. Well, I suppose that works, too. Sorry, I didn't mean... I think your drawing was pretty good, considering... I'd like to change the subject now, Carlos. Right. Let's talk about the letter that was found on your desk. A letter? What do you mean? I mean this letter here. Do you recognize it? Because the police are calling it a confession. A confession? But this is just a note to self. Pardon? Look, when we fight, I lose my temper and say things I don't mean to. So this morning I tried writing things down so I had a script to stick to. So I could apologize to her instead of fighting with her. Carlos, you say in the note that you hurt them. That's... I broke her fidget tubbies. Her what? Her what? Her fidget tubbies. They're just collectible ceramic character things. They're supposed to be like tactile. You use them as paperweights or conversation starters. Conversation starters? She loved those little things. They're pretty cute. Yeah, I get it. They're worth a damn. You can buy them at any flea market or garage sale, but they meant a lot to her. And I broke them. Aww. Gotta see the fidget tubbies. Okay. I mean, I was pissy at the time, but that goddamn piece of shit rent alarm, I hardly know where I'm swinging it half the time. Got so angry I just ripped it off and tossed it in the room. That cheap, dusty, worthless... Okay, let's say he did break her fidget at Ducky's with his replacement arm. But what does that change? Nothing at the moment. There's not enough detail in the note to prove what his intent was when he sat down to write it. But the police insist on claiming its confession for the heartbreak killings anyway. Couldn't even bother to sweep them up, so I felt so... Alright, Carlos, thanks for answering my questions. Now I'm going to call the police back in here, and I'm going to get this cleared up for you. What? That's it? That's it? Oh, okay. Although before I do that, I do have to ask. What do you know about the Heartbreak Killer? Heartbreak? You mean that psycho that was trending all month? I mean, as much as anyone else, I guess. I haven't been getting much out I haven't been getting out much, but I'm sure everyone had an edge. A guy like that out there, he shoots people through the heart, right? Police have kept the victim's appearances away from any upstanding news sources. So unless he was already following those murders, Carlos wouldn't notice any resemblance to his girlfriend. I mean, she was shot in the chest, but that doesn't mean anything, does it? If he's this slow in the uptake, it's going to be a real shock when those officers walk in and accuse him of being a serial killer. Let's have to squash that theory as quickly and definitively as possible. Cool! Cool! 4:04 a.m., June 5th, 2086. I didn't realize you could smoke in here. Technically, I could smoke wherever I want. For a fee. Code 9, smoking in a non-smoking area. Was that $29.99? I guess so. No, sorry, that was $3,000. There was no dot. Okay. Nervous? Don't be. I'm the one who's on the clock. Right, I'm sure this isn't your first time doing this. No, of course not. It would be my first homicide defense, though. Oh. Why does everyone always think the first time's so goddamn important? Hey, cheer up! I've got a relevant experience in other areas. Oh. And, what other areas are those? You ever gamble, Carlos? I'm starting to see how this character thinks more and more, and it's very fun. No, ma'am, I never go anywhere near loot boxes. Won't touch this stuff. I meant more like playing cards. Oh. Well, then, no to that, too. I've actually got a pretty terrible luck. Could have fooled me. Oh, sorry. Well, what I do like a lot is poker, Carlos. Poker's nice because even if you're dealt nothing but crap all night long, you can still win. Which makes things pretty fun. Okay, so, do you have a good poker face? I like to think so. And are you lucky? Only when the stakes are high. And, in this metaphor, we're playing poker and the state's the dealer? If only. No, the state's more like the house. You mean like the house always wins? Yes. They're very good at it. Winning, I mean. That's why they're up there and we're down here. That's why they're the house. So what do we do now? We play the cards we're dealt as best we can. With the more hands, then we lose. Keep it up and eventually someone will come over, tap the deal on the shoulder and whisper something in their ear. And then we'll be politely asked to leave. That doesn't sound very triumphant. The house always wins. So our definition of victory is more like, don't lose. Thanks, Morgan. But I guess I was asking more like, what should I say? Just leave all the talking to me. So that's the strategy. What's up? You know there's a saying about gamblers or strategy? Yo, ready to confess yet? Because I already woke up the DA. Already? She must be new. District attorneys have final say on whether or not the case is brought to trial. Only fair, since they're the ones who end up having to actually prove the damn thing. Most of them prefer simple guilty pleas over long, protracted trials. And they all disliked having their time wasted. Unfortunately, then you'll have to call them back. Because my client is not guilty. And frankly, I'm not even sure you have enough to hold him here. Right. What she said. You got a weird sense of humor, counselor. Different generations, I guess. Before my time kind of thing. I'm very serious when it comes to defending a man's innocence, detective. Counselor, we have your client's written confession. His written confession. Let's start there. Okay, we'll be happy to. Thrust of every argument starts with the facts. It's already known and agreed upon. Public knowledge for every player at the table. It's pretty simple, counselor. Real paint-by-numbers stuff. So you found a note at his apartment. With his fingerprints on it. Apologizing for how he hurt them all so bad. Now how are you planning on spinning that? Those are the facts. But I've been building up my hand all night. Now I've got weapons to answer anything they try and throw at me. Well, my client did write that note, and it was an apology, but not for murder. He was apologizing for the Labubu's! Sorry. Analyze the facts as they're laid out, then review responses in your hand. Select the cards that best answers the argument and place it in the slot to the right. You can mouse over your opponent's portrait for a reminder on what the key point you're answering. Which one? He wrote a confession? Yeah. Oh, the ceramic crap was those... Okay. I get it. I didn't realize what the shit on the floor was, but now I know it's the Labubu. It's this. If I'm... Let me just save, just in case I'm not doing this right. He was simply apologizing for this? The hell is that? Yay! I found myself asking the exact same question. What are we looking at here? Something from the crime scene? It's a diagram of the room. It's created from data you captured, right? Pure non-GMO augmented reality crime scene data, yeah. What's non-GMO? Not much these days. Notice anything out of place? Yeah, the whole room's full of busted shit. It's the scene of a murder. Full of busted shit, for sure. But I was referring more like the unidentified ceramic debris found on the western side of the room. The hell is that? Ceramic debris, huh? Must be from the vase that got tossed. Actually, that's not possible. Oh? Because that vase, it's fine. It wasn't here. I'm not picking that. It's not possible for the debris to have come from the vase. Because that vase is still pristine. How is that possible? Just shut up, Flat. Carlos, don't answer any of this. It's fine. The lady at the garage sale told me it was old and delicate. Damn it. One time I tried thrift shop on my own. Well, so what? What does that even matter? The vase doesn't have a scratch on it. The debris must have come from somewhere else. That debris is what my client wrote that apology over. You're saying the confession was an apology for not vacuuming? I am. Because that pile of rubble is all that remains of the victim's collection of fidget tubbies. What he said. The fucking music for a second. Mr. Flat broke the victim's ceramic figures by accident, and this impassioned note to self was just his attempt at scripting out an apology. Can you prove that? We're taking this seriously? As much as I wish we weren't. We're on agreement that my client wrote that note, and we could plainly see that the ceramic debris is at the crime scene. Now, since it couldn't have come from the vase, it must have come from the collectibles. Simple, right? The hell are you on about? The entire room was thrashed. The arcs clearly show. Those fidget tubbies must have got pulverized during the struggle, too. You really gonna claim he sat there and wrote an apology for breaking her toys after gunning her down? It was before, actually. Not a bad train of thought, but I can do better. No, his collectibles weren't destroying much earlier than that. And here's proof. They broke during the shooting? A dusty fidget tubby slayer. I think it might be the rental arm. Because I don't see a point in saying the note again. But I'm also going to save just in case. Take a closer look at the rental you took into custody. Huh? One swipe of your finger shows exactly how devastating it would be to the fickle buddy ecosystem. It's fidget tubbies. Whatever. You did take it into custody. I'm sure your text found ceramic debris on it, yes? Now that you mention it. Fine, whatever. He broke them with his arm. While he was killing her. Happy? Overjoyed because even a cheap arm's got an operating system that logged the last time it was worn, right? Right. See, I happened to spot footage on the lab report. Said the rental hadn't been used since the AM. Whose side are you on, old man? Gotten pretty late, sunshine. Just trying to save us all some time where I can. Well, thank you for your service. Well, thank you for your service. Are you seriously buying this crap? Just look how scrawled and panicked that note is. You expecting me to believe that he was upset over a fidget tubby collection? One that hasn't even been graded? Setting aside Detective Reyes' just surprising depth of knowledge when it comes to collectibles. You're correct. They held no real monetary value. It would be odd for Carlos to be shaken over their loss. But so what? So what? After all, it's not the panic you're seeing on that page. The only reason it looks so was because he wrote with his left hand. Carlos is right-handed. Yes, I am. Did they not know that? Shouldn't that be on my permanent record or something? So the reason that note looks like Asylum wall scribbles is because he had to use his left hand to write it. I tend to think better writing than typing. And I need to get used to using my left anyway. I just thought it'd be good practice. Taking that into account alongside the ceramics. Your slam dunk confession is looking about as watertight as a fishnet. Okay, fine. Forget about the confession. Congratulations, counselor. You've established that your client's remorseless. Now let's get back to the reality of the situation. Here are the facts. We found your client at the scene of the crime, wearing a coat covered in the victim's blood, right next to a big old goddamn gun that's just so happened to have his fingerprints on it. That's right, that coat is... What, you can claim it's not his, that he actually wears an extra small? She's trying to bait me in a typical low-key fashion. As the arguments flow, you won't always have the stronger hand. Sometimes the best you can do is hold your tongue and avoid overcommitting. Try to lose as little credit as possible while you wait for a more favorable chance. This game is so fucking cool. I'm having so much fun right now. She must have something. No sense playing into it. Something you'd like to ask me, detective? I'm just curious. What will it be next? You gonna tell me they actually wears an extra small? So cool. This is really cool. It's not letting me pick Rays even though I want to. Oh, no. Okay, sorry. Stay. And the fucking tap like it's fucking... Oh, shit. I hate gambling in real life, but like the whole gambling aesthetic is like fucking hot to me. You know? Gee, Carlos, do you? No. Yeah? Sure there's no evil twin you've forgotten to mention? There's no evil twin. No, I'm afraid not. Not even go for a mysterious third party at the scene of the crime? That one's probably true. To prove his innocence, I will need to get there eventually. Going there now without hard evidence. Yeah, but like... I can't prove it, so... I have no evidence of the third person at this time. Damn right you don't. It's clear as a day in the arcs. No evidence of anyone but Carlos was there at that night. So keep dreaming. It's obvious you had something there. I wasn't going to win that hand either way. At least I didn't overstep and take any more damage than I had to. I'm not contesting any of that, detective. My client freely admits to holding that gun. He picked it up in confusion after coming home to find a brutal crime scene. Which was not smart. Hey. But not illegal either. And that's all? He had her blood all over his clothes. Yes, he did. Right. Do you have those clothes on hand, by the way? Lab finished with them a while ago. What are you getting at? It'll be easier just to show you. Would you mind getting them for me? You know what? Sure, I could use the fresh air. This thing's a bullshit in here anyway. Here, I thought the room smelled like... Psst, Morgan. What are you doing? My coat's covered in her blood. I don't remember that much. No, I do remember that much. So doesn't it, like, make me look really bad? Just relax, Carlos. I'm pretty sure that isn't possible. You're innocent. And that means having more evidence will always help you, not hurt you. Really? Really? Not really. Plenty of innocent people in prison. People with bad luck. Or bad lawyers. People shouldn't count the truth. People shouldn't count on the truth to come out easy. More often than not, I take the coaxing. What was it that reminded me of? Alright, here it is. Well, the bloodstained jacket, fresh from the lab. So what's your angle? You gonna tell us this is actually not just hot sauce? No. That would be silly. She actually thought it over. So what the hell's your point? Hey. Sorry I just got thrown up by a turn of good fortune. What good fortune? You should thank the detective for bringing you your coat, Carlos. She's just proving your innocence. My client was arrested wearing this coat. He would have been wearing it at the time of the murder. They had the victim's blood on it. We know died when she was shot in the heart. By a gun that happens to be an old world pre-tagging firearm. And so his coat proves he couldn't have been the shooter. Is there a gas leak in here? In what world does that make any sense? Sense happens to be the key here. I just need to draw their attention to what they can. It's probably smell, right? Because sight, yeah. I'm going to save again. I don't want to fuck this up. Just do me one favor, detective. Tell me what you smell. I don't smell anything except dried blood. Exactly. The coat smells like blood because it doesn't smell of cigarette. That's what I've been smelling. Yes, Detective London. I was smoking earlier. Could you rejoin the conversation? I've been listening. You want me to smell the jacket? If you would. Let's see. Huh. No gunpowder. What? What about gunpowder? Oh, don't blame yourself for not noticing. This was before your time. Can't be more than a few years older than me. But not before your partner, it seems. See, gunpowder's weak by today's standards, but still volatile stuff. Hard to store, prone to misfiring. When it goes bang, it leaves behind an awful lot of evidence. What the hell is he talking about, London? Modern firearms like the one we carry use electricity, magnetism, even air pressure, sound waves. They've got more accuracy, more firepower, less recoil, less noise, and they don't leave behind any residue. Gunpowder residue. Talking my ear off about how difficult it is tracking down a gun that doesn't leave digital traces. A revolver like this one, it'd leave gunpowder on the skin whoever fired it for days. So then his coat, if you don't trust your nose, you can check the lab reports. I think if they had found any gunpowder on a client or his clothes, they'd taken the time to highlight it. Well, whatever. That just means he watched it off after shooting her, or he changed clothes. That's not impossible. But it would be pretty pointless. Huh? He's jacking his left hand was blood-soaked when your officers found him. Would he really go through all the effort just to get rid of something as subtle as gunpowder residue? Just to get rid of the victim? Just to get the victim's blood all over himself afterwards? Bonk. In light of these details, I'd like to formally request that you reconsider the charges Mr. Flat is facing as soon as possible. Whoa. They're faltering now. Should I topple over at any moment? The letter was mostly icing on the cake for them. The gun is all they had to link Carlos to any of the shootings. So if it looks like he never actually fired the gun, I'll admit, things were a little dicey there at times, once I was able to grasp the situation. Smaller pieces fell into place easily enough. Not my cleanest work by far. But overall, I'd say, did she get a message? Wait, did they actually manage to find it? Something like to share, Detective Reyes? You're good. And? Twisting the truth into knots, making the facts work for you. Thanks. But your luck just ran out. Because the net scrubbers found a cam active at the exact moment of the shooting, and right now, I'm staring at a photo of the killer. What a bet! It's so cool. Photo of the shooter. If she had that, we wouldn't still be talking. But I doubt she's pulling this out of her ass. Gotta do something. Gotta get something from the scrubbers. No, she probably has something. I'm not sure I follow, Detective. Didn't we establish there was an optics blackout during the shooting? Sure there was. It isn't from optics. I think I held my tongue, as I thought. I was meant to dig up something from the outside of the network. No, that was the right call. I was going to lose anyway. Party's over, counselor. Feast your eyes on this. Well, okay, the quality is lacking. And yet, there it is. They managed to find a quarter needle of evidence in the whole city block of haystacks. What are the goddamn chances? No, it's a scale of their twos they operate on. I guess the chances are, as always, in their favor. Alright, this isn't good. It's a far cry from the worst case scenario I've envisioned. You can say I got lucky, which means the stakes are, well, what's a little bit blurry. Don't look at me. I didn't take the damn thing. Technically, no one took it. Looks like at the time of the shooting, the neighbor was on their phone. Probably venting about a crazy couple across the way was acting. If their phone was on, its camera was be. So if we manage to get this on the shot through the window, where to begin? Far away, unfocused, ultra low resolution, zoomed in, blurred, color shifted, and so compressed it looks like it's from another century. There are tools that can enhance this image any further, and I can count the pixels on one hand. You could kiss its admissibility goodbye in court. Can't honestly claim that you can identify my client from this image. There's no way in hell you could get past the judge. Yeah, you're probably right. We couldn't. But I think I know a DA that can. Either way, doesn't seem like your client's leaving this police station anytime soon. That photo. What the hell is happening to me? Think I know a DA that could? Don't be so modest, old man. We have photo evidence of a left-handed shooter. Well, he's actually right-handed. Flat is. Standing in a hallway at the same time the whole neighborhood heard a gunshot. And who we know had their left-hand fingerprints all over that gun? You're referring to my client. You think? Shit. We established he wasn't wearing his modded arm at all tonight. So he must have shot with his left. Yes, and we also established that he's weak with his left side. Left side that had no gunpowder whatsoever. Forensics will never be perfect, counselor. Sometimes you miss things. Sometimes you walk through the rain and finally get where you're going. Somehow end up dry. That doesn't mean it didn't rain. Shitty metaphor, but I understand. All of which to say, before judge or jury, photographic evidence outweighs a failed sniff test. Carlos is innocent. I know he is. That photo shows a left-handed shooter. Carlos is innocent. That photo is real. If both are true, that means that photo doesn't show what it appears to show. So, at a loss for words? Never. I'm just confused about one thing. Where was this photo taken from exactly? Exactly. Positional data is usually only accurate to the nearest public router. If we did Deanna on the phone's owner and asked them where, why bother with any of that? Ballistics and common sense tells us that the perp was shot from the room's doorway. The front entrance of the apartment faces to the south. There's a hallway that runs back to the bedroom. We're looking straight at the shooter, so it's pretty obvious that this was taken from the north window. From the north? It's from the north, and why can we clearly see the... I gotta look at it. I gotta. So if it's being... okay. I see what they're saying. And then the photo. Because the clock was on the back wall. If it's being taken from the north. So... oh, yeah, this... hold on. Yeah, the clock is behind the TV there. Okay. I'm going to see what I can do. It's not that complicated. The neighbor who got the shot must live on the other side of the street. So we're looking through the bedroom from the north window. If she's wrong, I just see the opportunity to start turning the tide. Yeah. I'm afraid that's simply not possible, Detective. This photo has to be taken from the west. What kind of bluff is that supposed to be? It's not a bluff. The good detectives are misinformed here, and I need to take advantage of it. Time to press the initiative. Well, how do you mean this was taken from the west? The autopsy tells us the victim was shot from the doorway. The officer's ARC data tells us the precise location of everything in the room at the time they arrived. Now your photo shows the exact moment of the shooting. And, raise the ante on a hand thrown up to the max. Answer wrong, you lose more credit, but answer correctly. You could bank up more credits for thicker hands down the line. Altogether, that tells us that this photo must have been taken through the west window. As long as you consider... this one, because the clock was on the wall. You can. This is so cool. I love it. I love it. I love it. Just take one look at the clock in that photo. The clock? What about it? The clock, huh? Seems like London's got the idea. Just mistaken. I could pounce on it to keep my tempo high. So it was taken right before the shooting, so... Wait, don't tell me the time of death is wrong. No, it's right. No, because yeah. Right? Let me just make sure. I guess it could be wrong. Because if it's an analog clock... Can I see? I don't think he is. No, I'm just gonna... Hold on. 1 second. Yeah. It's a good question, Detective London. The answer is no. The autopsy of the clock and the neighbors all agree the time of death was 9 p.m. Right, no mistaking that. So then what the hell are you on about? The clock on the wall in this photo, analog style. It reads 9 o'clock. 9 p.m., the time of the shooting. What's so special about it? Nothing. There's nothing odd about the time of the clock it reads, but do you remember there being a clock in the room? What? Actually, I don't recall there being a clock. That makes sense. You wouldn't recall seeing a clock, because when the police secured the scene, the clock had already been knocked onto the floor. And the only clock in that room is the northeastern corner. My client has informed me that before that crime, it was hung up on the eastern wall. Like so. What the hell is that supposed to be? An artistic rendition. It's very distinct. If you had information on how the crime scene was before the shooting, why didn't you add that to the arcs and show you my hand? Just because discovery law compels us to share info doesn't mean we have to play fair, detective. Fun! Slip my mind. I'll do that now. The important thing is, that clock was on the eastern wall before the shooting occurred. Then this photo must be looking through the western window to see it. Don't start getting ahead of yourself. The victim was shot at 9 p.m. Same time that this photo was taken of the shooter. But you want to claim that clock's still on the eastern wall when it had been knocked down during the fighting. Got your logic backwards, detective. Your precious photo shows that the room was pristine at the time of the shooting. There's one other piece of evidence that proves exactly how the cards fell. Shit. What is she asking? The room was crashed before the shooting? It wasn't, because of the glass. Because the glass, I noticed that the bullet went into the glass, so I'm gonna... All in, baby. Glass shards, what about them? Nothing much, really. Only that they're on top of the victim's body. Not under it. The glass fell on top of the victim's body, then that would mean she was dead on the ground before the room got thrashed. But that doesn't make any sense. Why would anyone trash the room afterwards? It's a good question, Carlos. Luckily, the detectives are delving into the minds of criminals and insane, not us. Tell me, detectives, were there any signs of the struggle at the crime scene? Other crime scenes? No, nothing like that. Those attacks would have been over a matter of seconds. So what'd you think when you saw the mess in the bedroom? That this was personal and things had gotten complicated. Shit happens. Shit does happen, detective. But in this case, there's been a general misconception about the order in which shit happened. So what if the room didn't get tossed over until afterwards? He still shot her. And we have the photo right here. And I'm glad you do, detective, because that photo proved my client's innocence. Huh? Proving that it wasn't my client who pulled the trigger is difficult, and maybe more importantly for all of us, time-consuming. Thanks to your photo, I can instead prove that it couldn't have been my client who pulled the trigger, because the man in the photo couldn't possibly be Carlos. Like hell it can't! The glass shards proved that the room was pristine at the time of the shooting. And we know that until the room was tossed at the clock on the eastern wall, which means that this photo of the shooter was taken from the west. Back on this shit, that's impossible. The only hallway in an apartment runs from north to south. The only person who prints that gun is your client. Who's prints? Fuck. The only person with prints on that gun is your client. The only fact that matters is they used it to murder 6 innocent people. You're a very honest person, detective. Excuse me? That's why you're such a shitty gambler. You played your cards too early, and now I can steal that pot from right under you. You're right about the hallway's orientation. You're right about the prints. And this HK figure has claimed 6 lives. But we aren't looking at the hallway in that photo. Oh! What? What we're seeing is... It's from a different... I feel like it's this one, but I'm not confident. Let me think about it. Yeah, no. No. No, wait. Is she saying that because it's taken a... No, it's probably this, right? Because no cams, because it can't be a picture of him. Fuck it, hold on. I might be ahead, but I think because there was a mirror in the room, we might be looking at the room backwards. So I'm gonna... All in, bitch! Optics was down at the time, counselor. You're not gonna try and convince us this is another graphical error, are you? No, I fucked up, hold on. Okay, I'm like... I think I second-guessed myself too hard. Hold on. Okay, so is it... Sort of. By the way, do you recall where those glass shards came from? Yeah, sure, they came from... Yep, okay, I was right. I thought I was getting ahead of myself. From a standing mirror. A mirror that, at the time of the shooting, was across the room from the western window. But then, that would mean... At that angle from that viewpoint, it would reflect the hallway. So we're not seeing a shooter with the gun from their left hand. We're seeing a killer take aim with their right arm. And that, as we all know, my client has a working right arm in a number of weeks. He hasn't worn his rental since this morning. So I meant what I said about that photo. I'm glad it was recovered, because it just proved my client couldn't possibly have committed this crime. That's really good. That should be the end of it. Except the look at today really is a novice gambler. Nakasa's got her teeth in her now, clawing up her spine, whispering wounded pride in her ear. It's a cold sweat, hot palms kind of fever, the impotent, irrational fury of losing something you thought was guaranteed yours. But lucky for you, detective, I'm well versed in shock therapy. You can look dissatisfied, Detective Reyes. That's one word for it. Then allow me to put a nice bow on everything for you. In summary, this is going to be like Danganronpa. My client's so-called confession was just a note to self. The police found him in shock, reeling at the death of his girlfriend. Arrested him for being next to a gun he forensically couldn't have fired. After being confronted with these facts, he received photographic evidence at the exact moment of the shooting. Instead of utilizing said photo to track down the real killer, he tried to claim it depicted my client, a man without a requisite limb. I've never used that word before. Standing in our architecturally impossible hallway. He could have had a backup arm. He could have stolen one. Well, stubbornness can be charming. This desperation is ugly. It's getting late. Time to bare my fangs. A bit. That's the best you got? Even a bare-bones prosthetic off the black market needs to be attuned to an individual's nervous system. You have to bring it to a clinic, which could have left a record on his shoulder OS. A record you won't find. It's really cool, isn't it? And you still have to somehow gotten rid of it before the police arrived. SOP at the scene of a violent crime calls for a full spectrum scanning of the entire building and 100 meters around it, minimum. So where Detective Reyes did he manage to hide the cybernetic arm from your drones The time between the shooting and his arrest. Whew. I didn't even have to do that one. That was all her. Well. Any objections? Detective? God. Damn. It! Cool. I love it. I love it. I love it. I gotta buy the other ones. I have to buy the other episodes now. This is the coolest shit ever. Show me your hand flat. You're really uncuffing me? In light of the evidence, we have no reason to hold you. Now I gotta call the DA and tell her I just made a mistake. Not we made a mistake, huh? Listen, kid, you should know. Detective? Lost my train of thought. But hey, your attorney's a real tiger. She has fought like hell for you. Make sure you thank her properly. Public defense doesn't pay that well. Yeah. That's kind of you to say, Detective. My work gets its own reward. Sure. I feel exactly the same, counselor. What happens now? I'll have to speak with the DA about the dismissal. There's still some paperwork we need to go through. But basically, you're free to go. Congrats! You get to leave this kino with your kneecaps intact. Yay? But what am I supposed to do? Detectives will continue in their investigation. They're investigating a heartbreak, huh? Yes. When the authorities are satisfied with the examination of the body, she'll be handed over to the next of kin. You take it, then you can make funeral arrangements. No, that's not what Diane being gone is bad enough. But a serial killer? It's like she died of the flu. It doesn't happen anymore. People die of the flu of all time, but I know what you mean. Can't make sense of it. So what am I supposed to do? Hell if I know. There's some contacts I could give you. Services, professionals, doctors. No, you've done more than enough for me. When you got here, I was too tired to even defend myself and try to convince them that I didn't. You saved me. Thank you. You're welcome, Carlos, but it's my job too. No, I mean it. Thank you for not asking. For not asking if I killed her. I could have, actually. That was an option earlier. Oh, Carlos. I didn't need to ask. I knew you were innocent from the start. Of course he was. After all. Are you the heartbreak killer? What? What the fuck, man? What the fuck? What the fuck? You can't do that. That's so... What the fuck? The blood's always different. Heart's always in the same place. Easy to find. Hard to miss. But the blood's always different. A flowering stain, unfurling towards the invisible sun. A perfectly unique bloom. Only one for each of us. A Rorschach test with a singular universal meaning. Vitality at its climax. Bursting force in a red fractal consisting solely of infinite, the end. But the comical thud of a body hitting the floor has its own kind of lowbrow appeal. What the fuck? Man, I actually got chilled from that. That's crazy. I really thought that would be like a mystery. Because I'm getting a lot of Eye the Somnium Files vibes from this. Great game, by the way. You should play it. Where, like they give you the one serial killer and you have to find out who it is the entire time. So I was like, okay, the next case is going to be, like, another victim, and we're going to find it. Dude. Okay. Cool. Bullet number 6 of 6. The gun's empty. It's useless to me now. May as well leave it. Oh, this is a flashback. Feels like a waste, but... whatever! Man. It's not me killing people, it's Morgan. I'm not the one doing it. Are her likes and dislikes the same? No. Okay, so Morgan, occupation, criminal defense attorney, likes puzzles, smoking, wooden furniture. Dislikes commercials, hairdryers, jogging. Talent can fall asleep in any position. Coffee decaf and drink is whiskey sour. And heartbreak. Likes high places, gambling, and guns. Dislikes nosy people, mud, and headphones. Hobby is batting cages. Favorite dish is mapo tofu and cannot carry a tune. Whoa. I need to tell everyone to play this. Finding the ammo was almost enough of a hassle to outweigh the advantages. I could sell an untagged gun for a fair bit of cash. But cash can't buy you peace of mind. Oh, don't look so surprised, lady. Above ground in the dark here, must have only been able to see my silhouette. Do you think I was her boyfriend back for an encore of that enthralling conversation? Can't ask her now. Hey! These little pieces are so goddamn loud. People aren't even familiar enough with the sound anymore to know to run the other way. Probably rouse half the neighborhood. I didn't see anything that could use a partial suppressor on the way in. Could they really not afford some throw pillows? I used the other 5 bullets in outdoor spaces. Small spheres. Blind opportunity that hit the city's eyes couldn't think to pierce. Cramped places, usually full of trash. This room, as cheesy as it looks, at least a clean, organized even. So the corpse has a certain satisfying contrast. Except, there's shit on the floor. By the window, broken pieces of something fragile and tacky. It's fine. One thing out of place. Actually, it's not fine. It's actually really irritating. I kick over the stupid goddamn mirror. 5 perfect crime scenes, each one of them not a speck of evidence, nothing to go on. For the final shot, there just has to be some pile of shit in the corner ruining everything. I kick the wall. Something falls from it, probably more tasteless bullshit. I toss over the chair, knock the urn, tear into the sheets with my frustration and try and savor the shredding. If it can't be clean, I'll just have to lean in the messy angle. At least it will be consistent. This was all so stupid. Honestly, I'm not the ego-driven type. In fact, I pride myself on humility. Now, was it satisfying when the first 3 went down with single shots? Yes. But so what? I'm not made of stone. After all, I did start to actively aim for the heart, but... Ugh. Heartbreak killer? Really? Don't these people have anything better to do with their time? What kind of miserable, lifeless voyeurs would obsess over something that's none of their business? All the threads and breakdowns of the goddamn theory crafting. And all for the heartbreak killer. Sounds like a soap opera villain from a season where the writers were on strike. I'd feel insulted by the label, but no. That's someone else's name. They came up with it. They spread it. They marketed it. Heartbreak's got nothing to do with me. He's just some reclusive, lonely, socially impotent loser who shot 6 people because... Well, I'm sure people will come up with something. That he got rejected too many times or whatever. Me? I killed those people. I saw them because I saw them and I wanted to. And I've killed a lot more than just 6. At least this room is thoroughly trashed now. If I just walked away after seeing that mess by the window, it would have irritated me to no end. That doesn't match the MO of the last 5 perfectly. It would take the cops to no end instead. Good riddance, Heartbreak. You enjoy your 15 minutes in the spotlight. Really savor it. I'm going home. The air's weighty tonight. Thick. Energized. Heavily foreshadowed summer rain I can feel on every hair. They call this kind of humidity oppressive, but I disagree. The warm tension on your skin. Like in those short moments just after the shower turns off when the steam lingers. Yeah, it's always most comfortable right afterwards. Maybe there's no disagreement to be had. Oppressive things can be comforting too. Only the guilty ones run. I don't know about that. But I know I've never felt guilty about any of this. And I walk. This is so cool. This is really good. I love it. I want to play all of them. I have to buy all of them. Sorry, using my left is still. That's okay. You can just initial in those spots. I took a scenic route home, courtesy of our fine city's sprawling public transportation, and got a bit after. Got in a bit after. I guess I could have assumed, because why the fuck was she up at like 3 in the morning? If this is like the same day, you know? Also, I know it's reflection, but the way the blue light is reflecting off his chin, it kind of looks like drool. I took a scenic route home, courtesy of our fine city's sprawling public transportations, and got a bit after 11 p.m. Had myself a thorough shower, drank a glass of milk, did some stretching, made sure my phone was on. Time went by evenly. Around 1:04 a.m., my posting for a public defender work came up. Decent rate, since it was so late and so urgent. I had wagered correctly that boyfriend would have enough sense to ask for a lawyer. Debt need be to provide one. Did you mean how to start gambling? How to bet sports on phone? A gambler with a system must be, to a lesser or greater extent, insane. By George Augustus Sala, journalist. In 1820, he lived from 1828 to 1895. All I had to do was stay awake. There wasn't much competition after 1 in the morning. Okay, where else? Here and here. How did I phrase it earlier? Criminal defense attorneys aren't exactly flush with customers. Why wouldn't I take a job where I already knew more? Why wouldn't I take a job where I knew more than the cops? It wouldn't have been easy to convince Carlos to plead out. I would have gotten paid the same too. But easy is dangerous. Carlos was, of course, innocent, so his conviction would never be airtight. There would be doubts, questions, appeals, maybe even fans, depending on his looks. More attention on HK and his crimes. More headaches. Cold case rotting in the very far back of the public's awareness is always preferable to one open and shut in haste. Now, with no more murders matching, HKMO won't be any additional public pressure to find a culprit. Now Harper can just starve to death, out of sight and mind, like any other fluke in the system. Almost done. Yeah, but how'd you take out the cameras? Getting involved with the case this intimately does have its risks. Hell, I might even have done things here or there. Like lighting up a smoke inside the interrogation room just to make doubly sure I didn't still smell of gunpowder myself. That London fella seemed more fixated on it than I would have liked. But obviously, everything turned out rosy. It's worth it for the finality of it all. Seeing the authorities' failings from the best seat in the house, that's just a bonus. Thanks again, Morgan, for everything. I'm sure Diana's grateful too. Oh yeah, I'm sure. Funny, I didn't even know her name. Something the matter? No, sorry, it's just... I was mad when I left the apartment. I know she was too. So when she died, death was instantaneous, Carlos. I can't imagine she was in any pain. In fact, I can guarantee she was dead before she hit the ground. No, I know, but I just keep thinking that she must have died angry at me. That she must have died hating me. I'm gonna present some evidence, because despite the fact that my main character killed her, I, the player, am a nice person. To tell you the truth, Carlos, there's something I've been wondering about myself. What is it? Something I noticed in the arcs today that I didn't quite understand. A piece of the puzzle I couldn't fit anywhere else. Maybe you can make sense of it. Oh, yeah! Oh, shit! Dude, that's so cool! This is totally optional! Ah! Sorry. I have to force all of my friends to play this game. This is like the coolest shit ever. Where'd you find that? That pill organizer found the victim. She had a grasp in her hand when she died. Obviously, the police added it to the arcs, but it was quickly ruled irrelevant. Seemed like it contained tripexazone, prescribed to help modders with phantom itches. They're small tablets, and those tricky class, too, for a pill organizer. It'd be hard to handle with an unsteady hand. No one will ever know what she was feeling when she died. Even if they did, feelings are complicated. You can feel angry, happy, and sad at the same time. As far as facts are concerned, it would appear that when she died, what she was doing was setting out your medications for the week. To my eyes, anyway. I got an achievement for that. I'm so excited. I'm so glad this isn't over. I want to keep playing. I should save. I should save now. Long night. That was too far just now. Practically rubbing it in his face. It's not like I care about his feelings. Doubt I'll ever even see him again. Overstepping like that is pure hubris. And hubris invites a downfall. So why? Why'd I even bother? It was the last piece of the puzzle, I suppose. I just need to show more restraint next time. Though there won't be a next time for heartbreak. The gun's still in custody. There's no more bullets left. There won't be a seventh victim. There won't be any more leads to pursue. We will move on to their next obsession. I'll move on to my next MO. And no one will ever... Found you. District Attorney Rockford. What's up, girl? Sorry, can I try that again? I'm so fried. By all means. Counselor Morgan. Morning, noon, or night, you're always so put together. Thank you. I don't get it. How do you sleep at night? Pardon? You do white noise? Aromatherapy? Whatever you're doing, I need to steal it. God. I must have bags under my eyes dark enough for the dumpsters. Assistant District Attorney Emma Rockford. She's a prosecutor. The lawyer who argues to the state in court trying to prove a defendant's guilt. Despite her sometimes unkempt appearance, she's beautiful. She's probably the sharpest person to fill the position in decades. I should know, since I haven't beaten her once. Worse yet, she has a remarkable ability to compartmentalize all that adversarial energy and bring it out in the courtroom. It's part of what makes her good at her job. And hard for me to read. Should I buy a new mattress? What have they got you doing at this ungodly hour, Emma? Blood type O positive. Occupation assistant district attorney. Likes coffee, toffee, hot court. I don't know French. Dislikes sunburn, dead pixels, and eye strain. Me too. Eggs, Benedict. Chess. She plays chess, shogi, and idle savant stars. Cat person. Yes. She might be perfect. Many are saying this. Me? Klein was a suspect in the Heartbreak killings. That's my case. Well, then you must have been relieved finding out that you won't have to go to trial against me. No? Why would I be worrying about going against you? It's always the unintended barbs with her. So you're working with those detectives? Yeah, London and the new girl, Reyes. They've been reporting to me in preparation for trial. Preparation for trial? That seems ambitious. I guess they gave you the rundown. They've been doing everything they can, but it's hard to catch a killer leave behind so little. It's hard to kill while leaving behind so little. So Reyes told you they had HK in custody before he popped out of bed and all excited to run down here? Ha! Hardly. I haven't slept in 40 hours. Too much on my mind. So when I heard the case of a single female victim shot through the heart, yeah, my ears perked up. That's about all. Oh? I mean, Carlos Flat, a serial killer? Same serial killer that outsmarted state for weeks? He's not using his middle name. He was found with the murder weapon, but I can't answer. But I can answer that in many ways. Sorry, what is she asking? It couldn't have been Flat because of why? Oh, she's trying to get an edge on me. I understand. I guess I'm going to say the photo. Yeah, because all of these are correct, but I think it's this one. That may be true, but then I glanced at the report. You glanced at it? Oh. No gunpowder residue on him or his clothes. Right. Too remorseful or apologetic on that note. Okay, so yeah, we're all correct. Whatever it was about, his dominant arm modded. Documented sensitivity issues? Never could have made shots that clean. Not even without getting close to enough scorch marks. Not to mention, he's too tall for ballistic entry angles. Probably too heavy to not leave imprints. She got all that from a glance? Damn. But I'm sure a competent lawyer like yourself pointed all that out in the minute you walked in there. Of course! Worst part is she's not even being sarcastic. Yeah, of course it couldn't have been him. Long-term relationship, physically imposing, argumentative. So not the type to bottle things up. He didn't even match the profile. Profile? Yeah, that... Right, sorry, you probably never heard of it. I know what a goddamn profile is. Profile is a reconstruction of the criminals... Yeah. Did you mean profile, how to delete, or profile filtering? Trying to get your dating profile just right can be a full-time job. Let Valentine take the reign with our automated, secure, and confidential tools that put your best foot forward in finding the sexy back and put the sexy back into finding the right match. Thanks. Thank you. Kind of fallen out of fashion for the last few decades. Not much I need to guess about the why when 99 times out of 100 who is caught in the scene on camera before they even leave the house. I've had to find some real fossils and oddballs to get advice on how to go about it. I think I'm getting the hang of it. So this profiling is some kind of investigative technique? Theories that a crime scene can tell you something about the nature of the person who committed it. Stabbing, overkill, points of passion, rage, lust. They probably knew their victim. Poison and guns, meanwhile, suggest they can overpower their victims physically. Then there's the things you can assume about nearly all serial offenders. Childhood trauma, prior criminal record, fearing no meaningful attachments. She is the Elda my light. There's a lot of recurring themes in the stories. This is probably... Yeah, no, you're right. I haven't seen Death Note in a bit, but yeah. The detectives say HK doesn't have any evidence. So how much does this crime possibly tell you? That he's diligent, almost perfect, highly intelligent, painstakingly organized, and with enough criminal connections to get his hands on an untagged firearm. He's ready to see her this animated outside the courtroom. It's almost like she's enjoying herself. A sheltered house cat who's picked the scent of a mouse for the first time. A lone wolf, educated, but all her painfully lethal instincts coming to life. Probably overqualified or undervalued. Though I'm not thrilled about the fact that, of that metaphor, I would be the... Know what I mean? Definitely! Considering the marksmanship, the detective said that HK need insider information on optics. Does that mean heartbreaks in law enforcement? What'd you say? I skipped it. Never in a billion years. Oh. Antisocial, independent, despises authority. That'd be like the stallion of applying for a job on a merry-go-round. They'd be kicking kids in the head after forceful rotation. Right, that's exactly how I'd put it. There must be some connection to the police, though. Maybe secondary or tertiary? Yeah. Mm-hmm. These types can't help but insert themselves. Insert themselves? I don't have anything resembling that. You do. The fact that you just did. You're lying. Wait, but if HK is not a cop, how do they know about the blackout timing? Crime mass statistics analytics? Probably. Pardon? Take the emergency response time from across the city and mount them out. Look for brief spikes and delays and chart out the dip-ins. Sorry, technical, I know. But with the requisite data is publicly available. With a map, a spreadsheet, and a calculator, anyone could reverse engineer the timing if they wanted to. That is such an unpleasant thought, Emma. Well, at least this heartbreak maniac will slow down now that he's lost his weapon. He didn't lose it. He chose to leave it behind. That tells me he's confident he can do just fine without it. Do not goad her into doing this more. I'm begging you. It just makes me even more certain that these aren't his only kills. Were the other shootings the same MO? No, not that I found. Are there victims that fit the description? No, but I'm not overly focused on the victim's appearance anyway. I mean, these 6 victims look from each other. But they all look... Sorry, I mean, these 6 victims all look like each other. But they also look like a lot of people. I think I'm getting a whiff of something. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna keep going. I'll see. That's true. Hell, they kind of look like me. Yep, that's what I was getting at. Yeah, this is a fun character. That's literally exactly right before the game implied it. Do they? Sure. What, you don't see it? I hadn't thought about it. Point is, no one can kill that cleanly when it's their first time. Getting things perfect like that takes practice. So I know that HK must have had a lot more than six occasions of practice, Morgan. That's why I think Heartbreak is a misnomer. That's something catchier in mind? I just don't think shooting them in the heart has any particular significance. If anything, it's a testament to their accuracy and their cold-blooded efficiency. The best possible use is 6 untagged bullets. 6 kills guaranteed, no matter what kind of life support mods they were packing. Their real signature isn't bullets or the gun. It's the perfection. That's hard to wrap your head around, but she's right. I'm saying that these 6 murders were just a fluke, a slip-up, a mistake. Exactly, a mistake! They got too clean, too efficient, and now they've got the public's attention. It's no wonder they're so pissed. Are you talking about the crime scenes? Yeah, probably threw the detectives for a loop, right? Based on what you said, I don't blame them. Whoever trashed the room doesn't seem like the smooth operator you've been describing. On the contrary. I don't follow. This was their last bullet, their last shot. The 5 other were perfect. So if anything was out of place this time around, they must have thrown one hell of a temper tantrum. You make them sound like a child. Child-ish. And cowardly. And two-faced. Someone who hates to lose almost as much as they'd love to win. Wow. It's crazy how fucking on the nose she is. Your profile tell you all that? That? No. That part's just... takes one to know one. So to summarize, you're looking for a cold-blooded, faceless, perfectionist killer you think has no persistent MO or victim type. In a city with 8-digit population, well, good luck! I don't need luck. I only need more information. I'm sure the city would be happy to provide you with more resources. No, Morgan. I mean more crime scenes. Oh. Sad truth is, if Heartbreak walked away today, I'd never catch them. Only way my net narrows is if they keep piling up the bodies. Not a fair trade, is it? No, it isn't. Getting screwed over is a given. It's a deal with the devil. Whoa. Fair enough. Woof. Okay, that rant was pretty morbid and detailed. I need to get out of here. You need to get out more, or sleep more. Or sleep less, but harder. Think a higher thread count would help? Don't worry about it. I'm always happy to listen to you ramble. It's a lot more pleasant than having faced you in the courtroom. Sorry, but that's the adversarial process. So no hard feelings, yeah? No hard feelings. We're both just doing what we do. I could use a cup of coffee. How about you? Don't tempt me. If you fall asleep face first on the table, I won't even take a picture. Pfft, okay. Just don't expect this to make a difference next time we're at each other's throats. Heartbreak won't claim any more victims. 2 weeks to me, we'll move on to the next sensation. And the police will have moved on to the cases they actually stand a chance of closing. It's what people do. But Emma is different. She'll set it aside and work a dozen other cases, never bringing it up. But a private corner of that frustratingly sharp mind of hers will continue to whittle away at it. Never finishing, but never quitting either. So I can't afford to take my eyes off her. As long as that's the case, I may as well try to enjoy the view. That was so fucking awesome. That was the coolest shit ever. I fucking love indie games. Oh my god, there's more. I know that I've seen fan art of this character. I like her design. Which means you're going to be living with my friend for a while. For how long? I'm sorry, I don't know. There's no need to look that upset over it. My face barely moved. May as well have been a blatant pout from where I'm standing. Yeah, like that. This friend of yours, they're trustworthy? Absolutely. In fact, I can trust them more than anyone. Hey, come on, it'll be fun. Really? Really? Educational, too. I think you can stand a lot to learn from someone like Morgan. Sequel bait. Oh my god, that was so good. That was fucking awesome. Fuck. 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 Now, I have so many other games to play, but I have to play this now. You know what I mean? Thank you, Brian. Brian, you did a great job. We. Special thanks to Adrienne, that guy, Anna. Me. Made with Unity, yep. Of the Devil, episode 0. And he shall appear. Yay! 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 Ah! You're the smartest person I know, Morgan, when it comes to people. Personally, I think it's... Oh, this is like a teaser. Personally, I think it's cool that something... To bring something that flawed in this world. Hey, it's that guy. You're claiming a criminal defense attorney when we're at a crime scene. I think you can guess what happens next. I've never stolen anything that wasn't already compromised. Work hard in the company will have you set for life. And after that, too. Nice design. Can't tell you how many musicians I've seen screwed over by a big smile. And a fat signing bonus. Wasn't it a lawyer job thing? You dress like a doorman on the weekends, too? Okay. Never determining fault. Determining cause of death is like a breath of fresh air. This is a lot of characters I'm going to need to give voices to. How many wheels don't stop spinning for anything? Old lady. Emma. When I take a job, I never half-ass it. Of the Devil, episode 1. An Idle Mind. Dude. That's so cool. Fuck yes. I think the title screen changed. Episode 0 results? Oh shit, how'd I do? Yeah? Uh-huh. Yes? Yep. I got... Okay, I see. Total credits, 36. Congratulations. You finished episode 0 with 36 credit. You've also unlocked concept art and bonus scenarios based on your highest score for episode 0. Yay! Concept gallery. I want to see these because I fucking love concept art. Oh my god, this is the shit I love. This is the shit I love. How does that hair work? I love it when they do this. This is why Zato's my favorite thing in Guilty Gear. They highlight each one of the worms of the shadow. This is great. They gave her pants, I'm noticing. Yeah. From fucking Qasim. He looks really cool. I like his design a lot. She changed a bit. Oh, cute. On the right. Sorry, left. He just looks like such a normal guy in this one. I guess he always looked like a normal guy. But yeah. Mm-hmm. I guess she has one leg thing pulled up and one down. Because she's unkempt. Oh, these are cool as fuck. For the CGs, yes. Yes. Every game needs concept art like this. The Heart Fake Killer. Oh, cute. This looks like the NPCs in The World Ends With You. And you. What's your deal? I gotta play more just to get the concept art. Bonus scenarios. What does that mean? Huh? London interview? Do it like care? Like what? Huh? Begin playback. You want to interview me? It's very flattering, but there aren't more lively folks around here for you to question. I'm gonna assume this is the Android, so I'm gonna go with that soft voice I was doing. I had considered that, so I'm not your first choice. You're the first one who hasn't walked away. Come to think of it, I should probably... So what are your 3 sizes? Have you been opening with that? Should I not? Do you have any pets? Afraid not. We need 1 or 2. Or 3 promotions to afford that kind of thing. Are pets that expensive? Only if you care about them. That's grim. Maybe if I found a place closer to the park. Have you ever owned any automated dependents? Not had the chance. Would you own one if you could? Maybe one of the little vacuum ones, like a Roomba? Anything more complicated than that is. You find the owner's instruction manuals intimidating. There are video-based tutorials I could show you. I'm not worried about the ease of use, don't worry. When I say complicated, I mean... It's like what I said about pets. Find and leave a goldfish in a tiny bowl. Time it takes to swim a lap and a half. I've forgotten what the first half looks like. Not a very tall hierarchy of needs there. Easy to please. But a cat? A dog? I don't want to be at work thinking about how bored they are sitting at home. That always makes me sad. Because my dogs get really sad when everyone in the house leaves. And today's ads are a lot smarter than dogs. About most things. It's a very thoughtful perspective, Detective London. It's not a moot point anyway. And you get hit by a city bus to afford any of the new stuff the noble's selling. No, you're thinking of the sheltered generation. Sheltered as in sheltered upbringing? Or shelter in place? There was a lot of uncertainty during their childhood. So when they grew up, they wanted security, safety, stability. Wanted to know that the next heat would stay on in the winter. And their politics reflected that. That was all before my time. My generation is a little more, well, Generation Zen. That's what they called us in their think pieces. Even-tempered, mentally strong, and more than a little cynical. You disagree? It wasn't a matter of mindfulness. We just grew up without false expectations. Our vision wasn't clouded with illusions about impossibilities like home ownership or retirement. We realized early on that we'd be working right up until we... Detective? Unrealistic expectations. Some people call that hope. See your friends, your classmates drowning in every day in that kind of mire. I have to listen to people 3 times your age going on about enlightened today's youth are. Gen Zen. It's not a name I'm particularly fond of. Hey, tell me about it. So how long have you been in law enforcement? Too long. And how long have you been with the homicide department? Not that long by comparison. Sorry, don't mean to be overly vague. If you really want to know, I spent the bulk of my career over in arson. Was it difficult from homicide? Last year, I'd say. Everyone jokes that homicide solved themselves in a city with many cameras. Meanwhile, fraud and disinfo are so entrenched in the tech arms race that they barely come up for air. But arson. Really hasn't changed much in the modern era. Alright, still very good, destroying evidence. Can't expect a drone net to sweep into burnt rubble. Expect to bring out the culprit's fingerprints and driver's license. This is a lot more than I was expecting. It's a lot of legwork, a lot of interviewing. It's a lot more than half of the culprits we caught were burners helping Megs commit insurance fraud. Spent a lot of time making friends and enemies. High-res corporate boardrooms. Megs? Just slang for mega corporations, which is also just slang. At what size does a corporation become mega? It's not really about gross revenue or how many countries you operate in. If you're big enough to crush people, you're a meg. An apex predator among apex predators. Like the Ototus megalodon of the Miocene epoch. Hey, is that where that come from? So why are you working with the homicide department? What's that? Why'd you leave arson? The smoke. The smoke? Just got to a point where I couldn't stand the smell. Okay. Cool. I would like to watch all of them, but my throat hurts. So I'm gonna let's make a save here, just in case I can't check them. Purchase episode 1. Is this gonna take me to a Steam? Yep, just open Steam. I'm putting it on my wish list and buying it literally as soon as I have the liquidity. Oh, and there's a bundle. I got a wish list episode 2 also. Is there episode 3? Oh shit, that's right. Episode 2 came out this December. Okay, episode 3 is coming out sometime this year. Fun. Can I buy the, yeah. I'm gonna buy this. Cute! Look! I like pink, so I might buy. I don't know these characters, so... Magenta phone case. I like this character design, so... Oh, cute! Reyes, Angie. Try to pet the cat in episode 2. Okay. Do I have more profiles I can look at? I'm having too much fun. I don't want it to be over. Man, that was awesome. I'm glad I streamed that. Because, like... Oh, my God. Sorry. It's just... Getting a lot of good vibes from this. Because, like... Yeah, it's a visual novel. And yeah, I could have just read it on my own. But vocalizing it was really fun. So I might invite other people next time. And such to do the voices with me. Sorry, I'm looking at my text now because I don't have a I don't have any prior commitments. I'm glad I went in like almost completely unspoiled because that was so fucking cool. You know? I'm going to close the game now and close stream. So thank you for watching. That was really, really good. And I might... Because I was going to stream Romeo's a Dead Man. And I'm probably going to start that for real tonight or tomorrow. On my own. But this is a stream game. This is good shit, man. Let me know when your next stream is, so I'll watch. And thank you for watching, because that was really good. And have a good week. Goodbye!